All right, so welcome to session 23. So previously, you found Kevin and learned to speak with it. He seemed to have lost his memories. After leaving the underground complex you were in, several more of the crystal entities seemed to seek you out. Due to Ire learning the language to a degree, mapping sets of three tones to words, you were able to communicate. You were asked to follow the creatures to their home. After Galen was interrogated a bit, questioning his appearance compared to the creator, you were asked to look around the home of the crystal entities. You found and met, eventually you found and met with their leader, and in exchange for information and an artifact, he asked you to help Kevin complete a rite of passage in order to gain a real name. You managed to complete the trial after dealing with strange crystals, melodic puzzles, metal bug swarms, and a number of crystal husks. Kevin gained his name, and you gained the ability to more easily speak with the crystal creatures. They offered you an artifact, a compass of sorts, that points to the nearest transportation hub if you are close enough. They also gave you more information about the creators and the crystal beings. You then continue to travel towards your ultimate destination. As we begin, it is the evening of the 9th. You prepare to camp outside of the stone forest. So I'm going to go ahead and move you to the map. At least that was the plan. There it is. All right. So you should be on the map now, along with Pico's drawing. And it is now evening after a hard day's travel, and you're preparing to set up camp. So is there anything you do before you take your short rest?
I can't think of anything I needed to do.
That might include casting spells, preparing for the next day, etc. All right, so we'll go to the morning of the 10th. It is still cloudy, but it is a cool day and it is not raining. The sun rises being filtered through the clouds, so what do you do?
I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
All right. So, as you are now to the east, you can see the forest. You can see the trees made of stone, the ground, the gray ground, clumpy and covered with unidentifiable bits from this distance. You can see that the stone forest seems rather foggy, with a deep mist that seems to pervade the whole area. And to the north, you see a much more sparse forest with large trees, lush hills, and greenery abound. So, what do you do?
Yeah, I think we should travel north for a little while longer, although we're on the verge of where we're going to have to start. Basically, should be back within 7 seconds or so. There we go. Am I back?
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I was thinking we should travel north just a little bit more, but we're about at the point where we're going to have to just start cutting northeast.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you're going to travel through the sparser forest, it's still forested, so it's not as quick as the plains, but it's not as bad as a thick forest. You can move up to 3 hexes through the thinner forest if you want.
Wait, quick question. I remember asking this last session. I forgot the compass that the crystal gave us. It was doing its thing now, right? Like
Yeah,
glowing.
it was.
Which direction was it pointing?
It's hanging about here, as I
Was
recall.
it this way?
Yeah, it's pinging from this direction.
Okay. For whatever reason, I thought it was to the south. All right.
All right. Anyway, so you move to the north, and as you do so, you come across something interesting. Let me go ahead and move you to the map. So as you're traveling to the north, you're passing through the forest, and don't move yet, Ire. You notice ahead of yourself what appears to be a crash of all things. You see a jumble of metal and a scar in the ground, but you can see that it is all covered in plants, as if this happened a long time ago. And near the metal, you see like a pile of broken apart, perhaps or containers. You see metal heaps in various other piles, and near each of these metal heaps and near the craft itself are these they look like swords. The swords with like little feet or little metal objects holding them straight up in the air. Um, Three of the swords over here, here, and here are the size of long swords. Um, Except they're not really swords because they don't have a handle. It's like having the blade with some like kickstands holding it up, and metal and two gemstones in the front. And then you see a number of smaller ones that seem to be maybe the size of long daggers near all the other piles. So in total, you probably see about six of those objects, and you notice that they're all near the metal, but they're not moving at all. So what do you do? And if you say wait for Joel to show up, I would understand.
One question I have is, what's up with all the black streakiness?
If you're talking about this, it's basically a hill. You can see it's basically
Hmm.
the contours of the hill here, and the top part here is where the tree is. To the north, you see short cliffs and a higher elevation up here. And in the very lower right corner, you see a smaller hill. And in the top right corner, you see a fairly simple but fairly large hill up here as well.
What kind of plants are these?
So you've seen these before in some of the areas with more foliage, such as in the rock spires. They seem to be some sort of bush, and on the bush are these hard tops that seem to be swinging around. And when you go to mess with them, the hard tops they seem like they're made out of wood, but they seem to be hollow. And if you bang them together, they make a hollow knocking noise. The trees themselves are, for the most part, fairly large. The trunks aren't extremely massive, although they are multiple feet across. But they seem to be around 60 to 80 feet high. And Ire, who's skirted around the hill and began to approach the piles of debris, Ire, you notice that one of those sword-looking objects suddenly starts moving. So everybody stop
Uh-oh.
where you are.
No.
I was going to say, be careful of swords with no handles, for they will attack with us by themselves.
All right. So let me go ahead and do that. So what you wind up seeing is, I'll just go ahead and give you a kind of a larger picture. You see what looks like a blade, and then you see a base with the two crystals for eyes. The crystals are these green glowing gems, and those stands, as they start moving, appear to be legs. And And as they move around, one of the things you notice from the metal is that bits of the metal on the debris and the craft seem to be colored differently, and you can see that parts of the metal seem to be broken away in small little pieces. Has everybody rolled initiative?
I believe so.
I don't think Joel has yet.
Fair enough. So the
Uh,
question
shall we
is,
see if he's
do you
here?
want to wait for him to show up, or do you just want to
It's,
continue and let him join when he gets here?
it's
I just don't need her
8:15.
to.
Can we
Sorry,
just
say that
come?
again.
I can try calling him real quick.
Yeah, because we'll wait
Yeah.
if he wants to join. That's fine.
I'll call him real quick.
Yeah, how quickly we got to this point was depending on what you guys were doing, and Ire was doing some forward exploring.
Mhm.
Do we need to revisit the leash idea?
No.
I'm just joking, dude.
Actually, in the meantime, oh wait, we're waiting for Joel. Never mind. Actually, in the meantime, Ire, go ahead and roll a d8.
Oh, sorry. I was just put my headset back on. He did not answer. My fault.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and start without him then. But in the meantime, go ahead and roll a d8. All right. Fair enough. You get this really brief memory that you've seen these things before, but unfortunately, the memory seems to be lost.
Of course.
All right. So we'll go ahead and begin. All righty. So, 2, 3, 4. You see one of the small little swords swinging around as it approaches you, waddles your direction. And then it kind of just whips itself around, and you find that as it tries to cut into your metal, that its edge seems to be sharper than a razor. And it's a 23 hit. I believe it does. So as it slices your metal and your leg, Ire, doing 9 points of damage. And you notice that the metal around where it cut has changed to a slightly different color. It's become darker and more faded. All right, Devok, you can see that one of these small little swords has come up and swung at Ire's leg. What are you going to do?
We'll move here and then we'll shoot it with over here with Eldritch Blast.
Okay. All right, and
Oh, whoops! I didn't
those-
even have advantage.
okay. So in that case, that first one missed. The second one hit. Okay, and force does full damage. So yep, you do 9 points of damage to the thing. And yeah, you kind of knock it down, and then it quickly wiggles and pops back up again, and then just keeps swinging around. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right, Pico, you can see that one of the sword creatures has been knocked over, and Ire has been cut, although he hasn't taken the damage yet. So what are you going to do?
Why is it only some of these things have health bars?
That would be a mistake. Which ones do not have health bars?
All the sword young.
The sword young, okay.
Yeah, the sword creatures have it.
All right, well, that is a mistake. But beyond that, what are you going to do?
Which one did Devok attack?
The one closest to Ire.
Yeah.
Well, the health relative to the others might determine whether I attack it or aim at a different one. Although I guess I can just. Oh, what the heck?
Well, it definitely got hurt.
4, 5, 6. I'll go here. I'm gonna go ahead and booming blade the thing.
Okay. Go ahead and do that while I fix this health bar, which you should be able to see now. All right, so your 11 does not hit as it wiggles and swings.
Okay. And I'm gonna use feline agility to. And actually, I'm probably out of movement for it, so I'll just park here underneath the tree.
Fair enough. All right. All right. So as you move away, one of the larger adults swings around and attacks Ire from a flanking position by by whipping itself around and attempting to cut through him. With the 15, though, Ire manages to dodge out of the way. All right. Oh, wait. Sorry. I should have rolled with advantage. So let me try that one more time. Okay, still not good enough. All right. Ragu, you can see that Ire is flanked and that one of the obviously younger sword creatures has been damaged. What are you going to do?
I'm going to hold out my hand and necrotic blast the sword young two.
Okay. Yep. Critical hit. Looks like you did 20 points of damage, which knocks it completely over, but it is wiggling trying to get back up.
And I will move 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And that means
Four. Yeah.
it is now prone, at least until its turn comes up, which means if you're in melee range, you get advantage. If you're ranged, then you get disadvantage. Is that the end of your turn?
That is, I didn't have enough movement to get up there.
Okay. No problem. All right. The next sword is going to. You see him move in front of the pile of metal and just stand in front of it, swinging menacingly. And you see another one move up and start swinging menacingly in front of the craft. And that one will stay there. All right, Ire, you are flanked, but the young near you is currently prone, which means you would have advantage if you were to attack it with melee. So what are you going to do?
I'm actually going to attack one to the right of me, so creature 2.
Okay, go for it. That is it. All right, you slice. Oh, actually, it's a magic weapon, is it not?
Yes.
However, it is technically still made out of metal. So what happens is your iridescent axe passes right through the sword creature as if it doesn't even exist, doing nothing. Is that the end of your turn?
Is this an appropriate time for an explicitive?
Shit. And I guess that is the end. Well, Yeah,
And everybody else saw that, by the way. You saw him swing his axe with all his might behind it, and it just went right through it. But you did notice the force bolt from earlier, and the magic so far it seems to have hurt it.
All right, here's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna hit the one that's prone.
Okay.
So I have advantage.
All right, you go.
And then when I hit, I'm going to cast at level 1 smite.
Okay. So what does the smite do?
Let me. I haven't actually used smite yet. Let me read it. All right. Paladin Divine Smite, starting at 2nd level. When you hit a creature with a melee attack, you spend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target in addition to the weapon's damage.
So what
The extra
happens
damage.
is you do the radiant damage, but you do not do the weapon damage.
All right.
So it
I
passes
don't-
through, it goes off, and it affects it, but the weapon still passes through it. But
Alright,
you
it takes
still have to hit
14.
what you did, yep, and you finish it off. And you see the sword breaks into pieces, into little pieces, and just sits there on the ground. And one thing you notice is that all of the larger swords at this point, they all seem to get a little straighter and a little bit taller. And you notice they all point your direction simultaneously. Is
Oh
that the end of your
no.
turn?
Yes. No.
And that means 2, 3, 4. The nearest, the sword creature comes right after you, taking advantage of his advantage to attempt to slice you in half. And with a 19, I believe that is
He misses.
a miss.
Nope.
Come on. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Sword creature 1 doesn't have enough movement to attack you, but he does do a dash in order to get as close to you as possible for next time. And we're now starting at round 2. So Devok, it seems like the 3 larger, perhaps adult sword creatures have become enraged against Ire. What are you going to do?
Well, actually, I'll use corruption. Actually, remember what that is?
Gives them a penalty to hit, right?
Yeah, and I'll put it like.
That's Grimlore's influence. Is that the one? Is that what you're doing?
My bad. I clicked the wrong one.
Okay. 10-foot radius, so I'm assuming that's going to be around Ire? Or are you trying to exclude Ire?
I'm trying to exclude Ire.
So
How
which
about
ones are you going to hit then?
3 to his right? The 3 to his
You can
right.
hit me with it. It's fun.
Okay, then all of them.
Okay. And so they get -2 to their attack penalty at higher levels. So, is this casting as a 5th level spell? No, because you're dual classed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, it doesn't really change anything.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, that's still -2 to hit for everybody in that group, including Ire. And let's see if that includes Ragu. It does not. Okay. Does it include? It does not include Sword Young either. So it basically the Sword Creatures and Sword Young 1. Okay.
Oh, it doesn't include it. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. Pico. Where? Oh, there you are. You two see that the sword creatures are enraged with ire, and one of the sword young has been shattered. What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, I guess this gets a little bit tricky. I'm making a quick debate here. I may have to just go ahead and go in with a suboptimal attack anyway. Of course, the problem is, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna go ahead and Booming Blade Sword Young 4.
Okay.
Then go. Wait a second. Are we missing somebody here?
What do you mean?
Oh, 4 party members so far.
Okay, sorry. I was.
Is Joel here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, in that case, Joel, before Pico goes, go ahead and roll initiative. Because we're at the beginning of the round, or near the beginning of the round. So,
So you say things?
okay, so you're a 14, so that means you'll be right after Pico. Excellent. So go ahead,
Cool.
Pico, finish your thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and attempt to booming blade this sword young boar that's just north of me.
And you succeed. The critical hit.
And how does the critical hit normally work?
Normally, it takes the number of damage dice you're doing and then rolls them again.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to roll 2d8 instead of 1d8.
Right,
That'll-
because you're using metal weapons. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's the blade damage only.
Yep.
And then I am going to go ahead and retreat again.
All right. So Galen, I don't know how much you were able to catch. Can you see the map?
Yeah, I can. I've been here, but I just didn't want to interrupt you guys.
Fair
Higher
enough.
misses. I
We-
drove
we-
around
Yeah, we needed you.
phase through the thing.
So basically, there were these sword-like creatures that were they didn't know were creatures at first, and once Ire approached close enough to one of the to some of the metal debris, one of the young became active. Ire fought it and killed it, and once it shattered, the adult sword creatures then became enraged with Ire. Ire attempted to swing one of his metal weapons at one of the adults. It passed through like it didn't exist, doing no damage. But when the creature attacked Ire, it was able to slice into his metal, and where it sliced, his metal is changing color. And
Oh,
so, what are you
boy.
gonna do?
That's not good. This is not a good fight to be in. We need to help him out. I'll move towards him first. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess I don't want to kill the other child. That seems silly. I'll shoot at this one.
Okay.
But let me see what spell I want to use. This might be to bust out some actually other spells.
Actually, before you cast a spell, go ahead and roll your d8,
Oh, that sounds.
because this may tell you something useful.
Ooh.
It is a
Damn it.
7. Have you
I
interacted
can-
with these creatures before? You probably have. So you get, I would say, a partial memory. And in
Okay.
your partial memory, you remember somebody stabbing at one of these creatures in a lab or something, some sort of with metal tables and everything, but the table was covered by something non-metallic for some reason, and someone stabbed at it with a dagger, and as they did so, the dagger seemed to change color and then shatter. And once that happened, you notice that the metal bits, the creature seemed to eat those metal bits. But one thing you remember is somebody saying that things like electricity or lightning have no effect on them. But for some reason, they came out vulnerable to cold.
Aha!
I don't have any frost spells, which is unfortunate. Well, we might need to just get you out of there because you're gonna shatter and they're gonna slurp you up or something.
Mm.
You're immune to lightning and what else?
Metal.
Lightning and fire, but that's all he knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So I I only have mainly fire spells, so I don't think I can hurt
Which
these
you know
guys
that your
at all.
fire spells and your lightning spells will do actually nothing.
Yeah,
And you
so
know that your metal won't do anything, but you're pretty sure non-metallic things will.
If you have a
Nope, it's just
non-metallic
peace out.
weapon, maybe we're testing.
I have a wand of fireball.
No.
That's probably not gonna happen. I don't carry weapons. I hate weapons. So
Well, one option you do have is to punch them.
I'm not doing
True.
that. That would not be good.
Punching knife, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You do know that
Uh,
that some magic works on them. You just know it's not
yeah,
fire and lightning.
guys, do we want to finish this fight or do we want to leave? Because I'm very tempted to just like put them all to sleep and then, or some of them to sleep and then just run away.
I'd like to investigate this ship, so.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
how
it's
much-
a cool ship.
How many hit points can you get for sleep?
I have something.
Let's see how much I can upcast it to. Or what it
Because
upcast it to.
I estimate that in order to knock out everything that's still alive, you're going to need to be able to come up with about 300 points.
Okay, that's not happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
never mind, I
so
don't have anything.
there's-
If we can leave, like, back out of the fight for 10 minutes, I can maybe do something.
Yeah,
But we
we
still
might
must
just.
get the ire out of there big quickly.
Yeah, we need to get him out.
So one thought that comes to mind is that may have been possible before they were enraged against you.
Yeah, but now they're mad at you for killing their children,
Oh.
so we can't run away. They're just gonna follow you. Should we take like one of the babies hostage? No, they're already mad.
Wait, Ire, you don't
Yeah.
have to breathe, right?
I do not. I do not.
I potentially have an idea to get them off your back, although it's going to take a few rounds to set up. So you're going to have to do a lot of dashing, and you might not like it.
Mm,
Basically,
Why don't I just disengage and run?
just
Because they're
hit
gonna
circle
follow
if
you.
need be. I just need you to run around long enough for me to go ahead and excavate a hole. You jump in the hole. I fill the hole. Now you're not exposed. They don't turn into shovels or something.
I'm having another idea. If Ire can run north for just a moment and then run east to get off the map, far enough away, then I think I can make them not be following.
Maybe there's an answer in this debris pile. Can we like find like something to throw at them that
I
might
should have tried
explode?
speaking every language I know at them.
Sword Young 4 is guarding that debris pile like it's treasure, so I don't think we're going to investigate that until we can regroup and come back with a better plan. So I think if Ire takes a disengage, runs south and then east as fast as he can go, I can get them to not follow him.
In the meantime, what are you doing, Galen?
I don't know. I'm just stay here, I think. I don't really have much to do.
Okay.
I might hold an action.
Actually, I have a thing I can do. I can get out of this.
Okay. Well, we'll get to you, Ire, in a moment. So
Yeah.
you're holding an action. What's the trigger and what's the action?
I'm gonna hold. It's probably not gonna happen, but I'll hold an inflict wounds. If anybody enters my melee range, I'll cast inflict wounds on them.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Sword Creature 2 is going to take advantage of his advantage to slice at Ire, the hated Ire. And he gets a critical hit.
Oh, Ire, you're
So
getting.
Ire takes 19 slashing damage as it slices into another leg. And you notice that this leg is starting to feel weak.
I'll be fine.
You're gonna shatter, and they're gonna slurp you up, bro.
All right, Ragu, you see that Ire has 2 leg wounds. What are you going to do?
I'll use my free action to tell him to run south and then east as quick as he can. Just disengage and get out of there. And I'm holding my action to cast as soon as he does.
Okay, so
Hoping
what's
he
the
does.
trigger in the action?
The trigger is going to be Ire running this way and then this way off screen.
Okay.
And as soon as he gets like to right here something, as soon as he starts moving, then I will cast my spell.
Point it where he
And-
gets
What
to.
spell are you casting?
Right about here.
Okay, so when he
So
gets
if he runs
there,
down and over, yeah,
and then what are you going
or
to cast?
anywhere thereof, if he decides to cut it short or something. But as soon as he starts disengaging and getting away from him,
Okay, and then what
as
are you
soon
going
as
to
he's
cast?
a little ways away,
Okay,
I've got a fog cloud that'll incorporate all of them, so they'll be confused and not see where
okay, so
they're
you're going to
going.
cast Fog Cloud?
that's-
Okay, great. No problem.
Yeah, hopefully that's when Ire turns, and so they run the wrong direction.
Okay, that sounds good.
And I will move 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can move to there. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Sword Young 4 continues to swing wildly in front of near his pile of metal. Sword Young 1 moves around and takes, still sticking close to his pile, but he takes a swing at Ire. Parents are mad. It's mad.
Oh my god.
Critical hit. So Ire takes another 18 points of damage and another nick in the leg. Well, it's more than a nick. And Sword Young 5 continues to swing wildly near his pile.
I'll be okay.
Ire, your legs aren't feeling so good. And your movement is reduced by 5. What are you going to do?
And you're gonna have to
We need to
disengage
get
if you're
you
gonna do
out.
any moving.
We're gonna get you out.
I can cast Sanctuary on myself. Do you guys think I need it? Or
You're
What'll
about to
that do?
die.
yeah, it's a bonus. I'll just cast it. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay, just go ahead and put up the description.
Sure.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay, so they have to make wisdom saving throw in order to attack you.
Yep. And then I'm going to disengage and run. And at this point,
Go ahead and stop
Ragu.
there. Ragu, what's your spell do?
Just a second.
"20-foot radius fog," which, yep, that'll cover all of them. Okay, good.
And so they'll all be in the fog. Hopefully, Ire made them think that he's running down, and that way, when he runs that way, they'll continue running that way. And we'll all make a hasty retreat until we can regroup, reorganize, and figure out something to do.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go ahead and make intelligence checks for them on their turn. Their intelligence isn't that high, but it is still not that far from average, so we'll see what happens. But because it's a magic spell, I'm going to go ahead and make the DC 15. Ire, go ahead and continue. Do you have something else to comment, Ire? Ragu, about that?
Nope.
Okay,
Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah,
I didn't want to cut you off.
we're good.
Is that the end of your turn, Ire?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to start with Sword Creature 3. And, okay, and he does not make it, so he travels downward. 2, 4, he's going to dash, and then start looking all confusedly. Alright, so now it's beginning of round 3. And Sword Creature 1 gets to make a check. Not a chance. All right. So far, Ragu, it seems to be working, but more of them still have to move, so we'll see what happens. Devok, what are you gonna do?
Um. Hmm. Guess we should focus the adults because are they still enraged?
They are, and they're currently in Ragu's fog cloud, which lasts how long, by the way?
Oh,
It lasts for the
concentration up to an
duration,
hour.
up to an hour. So as long as you concentrate, okay, fair enough.
Yep.
So yeah, they're still in the fog cloud. They're still enraged. So far, two of them have moved south, thinking Ire went that direction, and obviously Ire didn't. But you don't know yet if it's gonna fool the rest of them or not.
Yeah. Uh,
So yeah, you just have to get moving so they don't notice other people.
yeah. So are we fighting or are we escaping? What's the
We're
plan?
falling back momentarily. We'll come back to this, but for right now, we need to get away, regroup, and tie a tourniquet on Ire's leg.
Okay.
Well, that's
then
more
I
than a
move.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
I
reach the edge of the map,
basically-
I'll consider you to have run away. So Devok has fled.
Actually, before I flee, I'll wait for other people to get closer. I'll wait there.
Okay, she's gonna wait there. No problem. All right, Pico, you can see the cloud. You can see that it seems to have fooled two of the creatures, and Navak has started to flee. What are you going to do?
And where is this cloud exactly?
It's basically centered over here, and it is affecting basically 20 feet around where Iro used to be.
All right, so I wouldn't be able to see those anyway.
You can probably see their shadows, I suppose. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and, in the chaos, try and sneak over to here.
Okay. You can go ahead and actually make a stealth check since you are trying to sneak.
I think it'll be at advantage or something because of the fog cloud, or is that just for their wisdom?
Actually, it would be for sight. It wouldn't necessarily be for other senses. But go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and roll again. We'll give you advantage. What's their perception? Okay. Not that you needed it. Yeah, no problem. I mean, their perception's not bad, but it's not 17 good. All right, is that the end of your turn, Pico?
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, Galen, you notice that Pico's disappeared, and you've noticed that two of the creatures have headed to the south, and Ire is limping your direction. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, we need to get out of here. Ira, do you need help getting out, or can I just sprint
Go,
away?
go.
I yeet myself off the map.
Fair enough. All right, Sword Creature 2. I'm going to make his intelligence check now. And he fails. Okay, and he moves to the south looking for Ire. You can tell it's still enraged, but they're hoping to find him down there. All right, Ragu, what are you going to do?
Move up here. 1, 2, 3. Grab Ire, up under the arm type thing, and help his happy butt move.
Okay,
How far can I move him?
I'm kind of heavy. I don't know if you want to do that.
You're heavy. I'm strong. You've just had more than 50% damage to one leg, so I don't think you're walking.
So yeah,
You're
I have
hopping.
25 move.
So basically, since you would basically be grappling him, with his consent, you'd move at half movement. So however far you have left, divided by 2.
Does that grapple actually cost my action, or do I get my dash?
I would say no. If he's going to let you do it, you're just going to grab him. But we're using grappling to just determine how fast you go.
All right. So I can move 3 more plus a dash will give me 6. That'd be 9 altogether. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
I can get us to there.
Okay, go ahead and move, Ire. So your next
Oh,
turn.
my bad. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, is that the end of your
And Char's going to fly over here.
turn? Okay. Sword Young 4 continues to swing menacingly, and he's succeeding. You're all running away. Sword Young 1 stays where he is and swings menacingly. Sword Wing.
Not that we can see it.
Sword Young 5 does the same. And then Ire, I'm going to assume that if you are continuing to run, you can get off the map.
Yep.
So that's going to be good enough. So you guys have fled the battle. So what are you going to do now?
Well,
Char's
technically,
just
I
sitting there with
haven't yet.
Pico. Yeah. Char's sitting there with Pico.
Okay, is there a plan to continue the battle, Pico, or are you just going to stay hidden?
I have a fairly imminent plan here.
Okay, well, we'll continue then. But
And-
the rest of you, I'm assuming, are off the map. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm off the map, but with Char next to Pico, I will be alerted, be able to turn around and beat feet back onto the map, leaving the rest of these 3 guys off the map for safety. They can be binding the wounds, etc.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'll be ready to dash back on if Char says, "Hey, help us."
Okay, so for the moment, we'll continue. Since Pico's hidden, if he decides to leave, then we'll end the combat. All right, so Sword Creature 3 continues to look around. It's the beginning of round 4. Sword Creature 1 continues to look around. Devok is off the map. All right, Pico, you notice everybody else has fled and is off the map. And the sword creatures continue to look for Ire. What are you going to do?
All right. Well, I am. Let's see. This little cliff next to me. How tall is it?
It is probably about 10 feet, so it's pretty small for a cliff.
10 feet. Well, I'll stay put for 1 round here, just to be on the safe side.
Okay. All right, I will continue then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Did Sword Creature 1 and Sword Creature 3 actually see us, or are they just running around in circles?
They're still looking for Ire. You guys are off the map. They haven't seen you.
Okay.
I'm just moving them because that's what they'd be doing. The young are sitting still. The creature 3 is still circling. Round 5, creature 1 is circling. And Pico, back to you. The sword creatures continue to circle around looking for Ire. You notice, though, that since it seems like they've lost the trail, they aren't going too far away from the site. So what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and try and quietly climb up the cliff.
Okay, you already made a stealth check, but I guess I'll go ahead and make you make a climbing check, just to make sure you don't dislodge rocks or what have you. Not to actually make the climb, but to actually do so without disturbing the environment.
Which I think was an athletics roll, since I don't have climbing completely yet.
Yep. Okay, that is good enough. So you make the climb without knocking anything loose. Go ahead. And that counts as rough terrain, so that's 2 hexes of movement.
All right, and I'm going to move here and hold up for the moment.
Fair enough.
Since Char is there, can I actually kind of see through Char real quick?
What I would do
Or
is
maybe it's an observation I've already made. I don't know. How tall are these things?
which things?
The sword creatures.
The
taller
sword
ones.
creatures are the size of a longsword.
So about 3 to 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah, and then the sword young are the size of a long dagger.
So them getting up to and swinging at a 10-foot cliff is probably completely out of their reach.
Mm, potentially.
Okay.
Okay, sword creature 2, yeah, he moved back that way. That goo is out. They're still doing their thing. Sword, the creature goes back there. And he's going to move over there. All right, Pico, it seems like the sword creatures seem to be on alert. You can tell that because they, instead of becoming still, they seem to be flipping around constantly, almost as if trying to look every direction at once. But they seem to be staying in their current positions. So what are you going to do?
Oh, geez, I kind of hate to burn this, but what the heck. I'm going to go ahead and cast Disguise Self and make myself look like Ire.
Okay.
Oh no.
You look like Ire now. Now, currently you're on the cliff, and there's potentially some foliage up there, so I'm assuming that you're also making yourself visible.
Not yet. I'm staying out of sight. What I'm going to do is next round.
Okay. So you look like Ire. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody else is going to sit still, so I'm just going to loop back around until it's your turn again. It's your turn again, so what are you going to do?
All right. Well, my life for Ire. I'm going to go ahead and leap off the cliff here. I am going to swipe at this Sword Young with Booming Blade.
Okay, go for it.
Let's see. Seriously?
You do not hit.
All right. Taking a quick glance at everybody down below, the Sword Young. What are they?
They're all pointing at you right now. They all turned at you, turn towards you as soon as you hit the ground, and you can tell that the sword creatures want to destroy you.
Okay. I yell, check the crash site. I'll be back. And I just beeline agility north.
Okay, fair enough. So you go off the map, and they are basically all going to follow you.
And Char is flying above all of this mess.
Let's go.
In the meantime, the rest of you return, I assume. So what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I want to run and investigate this egg-looking thing here.
Yep, let me go ahead and just cancel out of combat real quick. We'll set that up again if we need to.
It looks like a cut down tree stump.
All right, so yep, the egg is a tree stump.
Oh.
I
feel stupid.
No problem.
I want to go on the ship instead.
All right, as you approach the ship, you can see that it is in bad condition. It's been here for decades, maybe even hundreds of years. It's hard to tell. The inside, you can see that the insides are jumbled and collapsed. But one thing you notice, Ire, specifically once you get close, is you see a green light blinking on the inside. You can see it through the window, and it wasn't there until you went and kind of looked in there, and then it suddenly started. And
Does
it
it say
seems to
anything?
be attached to some sort of circular object. Like a disc, but much taller. Basically, like a flattened cylinder, and the top seems to have one of the blinking light, and it doesn't seem to be attached to anything. You can see some wires sticking out of it, but they've been cut a long time ago.
So you said it's a button, right?
It's basically it's like a light or a surface that's blinking attached to a cylinder.
Does it say anything?
It does not say anything, and it's currently inside near the bottom. You haven't touched it or anything. But you see the light blinking.
Huh. Am I able to reach it, or is it out of reach?
if you really stretch, you might be able to reach it, but I'd probably have you make a athletics check or acrobatics check to avoid falling into the process.
I'm a pretty athletic person. Robot.
Sure. Go
Yeah, I'll make an athletics check.
well, that's just barely, but that is actually good enough.
Woohoo!
So yeah, you reach in, you feel yourself as you reach and stretch, you feel yourself starting to slide in, and then you grab it, and then you catch something with your back foot and then you pull it out. It's surprisingly heavy. It's about 15 pounds, and it's probably about a foot across and 2 feet tall. Like I said, it's fairly flattened. As soon as you pull it out, you see a section of the top surface kind of slide open. And then you see this, it looks like a lever or something that just kind of raises up.
Pull the lever?
Okay.
Don't you dare take
pull
off
the
while I'm in
lever,
front of you.
and then suddenly you feel this pressure on your mind. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm good at those. Woo!
So you resist the immense pain, the tearing sensation, and you do not pass out. But suddenly you hear a voice, and he says, "It's about time somebody found me. I hope you don't mind me taking residence here." And then suddenly everybody else notices Ayer's head looking around in rapid motions. "Hello, everybody. Thank you for saving me." And you
Is that
notice
me
that
talking?
the tenor, it's coming out of Ayer's face, but the tenor of the voice is different. It's clearly made by Ayer's machinery, but somehow the pitch of the voice has been shifted. And he says, "Well, I hope you'll welcome me to your group."
Am I still in control of my...
And you notice that Ayer just stands up, and he just kind of jumps down. And then
Oh, no.
you see him bow, and he says, "Thank you for bringing me this husk."
Well, no, that's actually our friend. Maybe we could find you a better one. We kind of need him back. What were you doing here? What's happening here?
I was making a delivery, and I'm
Uh-huh.
late. I need to find. There are 3 other shuttles, and we need to find them right now. And you notice that Ayer starts walking. Ayer, what are you going to do? You're in your mind, and you can see and you can feel everything that's happening to you, but it's like you're just like being controlled,
So
like
I
a
can't
puppet
control my
master.
body at all?
So what are you going to do?
Can I... If I try to control my body, what happens?
All right, go ahead and make a wisdom check. Okay, so
I'm wise.
you try to exert control, and finally you wrest control away from this entity, and you stop, and you kind of push him into like a little compartment in your mind, and you can feel him in there. "Oh, you're not an empty shell. My apologies."
Can I...
What do you do?
Am I able to talk to him in my
Yeah, just
mind?
You
give
are.
him a little brief.
Yeah, hey, are you in control of these sword creatures?
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
Sword creatures that were defending this ship. They
I
attacked us.
have no idea what you're talking about.
What
ship,
year
the
was
sh-
it?
The ship
when-
crashed, and I've been waiting. I've been waiting for days for somebody to show up.
What year is it?
It is the year 327.
Hold on, where's my calendar? Where's
Do
the
we know
calendar?
what year it is in
Yeah,
Lumen?
we have a calendar.
You
Well, where's the
do,
calendar?
but
None.
you're pretty sure the year on your calendar doesn't match up with Lumev.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. I was gonna say.
You've been
Yeah.
here for decades at the least.
No, it's just been days.
Look at the ship. It's overgrown.
You look at the ship, and then for the first time since he's entered your mind, he's silent, and he's silent for a good 30 seconds or so, and then he says, "What happened?"
I don't know what happened. It's your ship.
I was making a delivery to the city.
Do you
There's
have
no
crew?
city.
Do you have a crew?
What were you delivering?
Yeah, let's just
I don't think.
I
get
don't
this
know what
guy.
I was delivering. I was just told to deliver it.
all right.
Let's check the back of the ship.
Yeah, is there
We
anything?
can't sit here and talk to him forever because Pico can't run forever.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do everything with the ship now, and then we'll talk to him.
Alright,
when we
yeah.
get
I'll
away.
ask him if is there anything we're salvaging from the ship because we have to leave.
I don't know. It was fragile parts, I think.
All right, you guys investigate what's in the ship, and I'm gonna look around at these
Got it.
boxes.
I'll take this pile.
All right, so you guys start
All
doing that. In the meantime, Pico, so you've been running for a while, and are you just? How long are you going to keep going? Are you going to go in a straight line?
I'm not going to go in a straight line, mainly because obviously I'm going to want to get back to the group. So I figure, given that we're going northeast, I'd probably loop around to the west and come south again, but try to maintain the distance. I mean, if I see that Tar is following me, I know that they have some way to relay at least a basic message or something like that. So, and if things become a bit of an issue, I can potentially find some spot where I can generate a stalemate and then, do cheapo little pot shots. Like, for instance, I don't, as I'm running, how agile do they seem to be over terrain?
They don't seem to be that agile, actually. They go over flat terrain and hills and that kind of thing fairly well. They go through trees fine, but they don't handle sharp changes in elevation well. So if you decide that you want to lose them, you can make a survival check, and that might be possible.
Well, I figure, thanks to Wild Shape, if I really had to, I could do something like pop behind a tree, turn into a bug, climb up it. I might as well have disappeared as far as they're concerned. Or I could potentially turn into something that's got an even more effective long move, some like a gazelle or something like that. But as far as a stalemate, I would something where they can say readily climb up on something. Yeah, like if I thought they have trouble getting up a tree or something, I can try and get up in a tree and basically just aggravate them.
You could do that, although you suspect that they might start trying to chop the tree down.
Yeah, which I guess could be a bit of a problem. How fast are they actually?
This is where you have a big advantage because they're with dashing they move 8 hexes around.
Oh wow, 8. So okay, so I don't actually have to dash to keep ahead of them. They're basically moving the same speed as my normal move, that's actually handy to know. That helps. I think. In this case, I could probably just sort of pull this off indefinitely. So I'll just kind of wait for Char to give me a signal to come back. But yeah, okay. If they can only move 8 hexes, I could just turbo boost when it's time to get away from these guys, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so you're just going to keep leading them away with the idea that you're so much faster that it's not too tiring, at least not unless you do it for a long time. Okay. All right, so back to the group.
I guess I will explicitly say to Char, let Ragu know to call me when they're done.
All right, Ragu, that's you got the message. Something about sending message, send message. Don't let Pico die.
Gotcha. Oh, I won't. Believe me, I won't.
All right.
might.
Okay.
Back to the main group. All right. So, Ire, what are you doing?
Searching these boxes. Right.
Okay, yeah, you search through the boxes and you find, yeah, it's a lot of really torn up debris, and you can see that the boxes look a lot like Swiss cheese, where little circles of metal have just gone, not broken, not melted, but just
They were
gone.
maybe they were shot at.
Um, and speaking of Swiss cheese, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution save.
Oh, save. My
Save,
bad.
yes.
There you
Because you're
Okay.
lagged.
So you notice that your one of your legs is when you stepped, it felt like there was more wiggle in your shin than you're expecting. Not much, but you get the impression that if you ran too fast, you took a hard hit to the leg, your shin may just break apart.
go. How
Um,
long do you think we have until
We must be working quickly, but I'll give Pico the signal when we need to leave.
how much time do you think we have?
It depends on what you're thinking of. Let's finish investigating here. Do you need a mend?
No, I think I'll be okay.
You seem to be limping pretty good there.
Yeah, we'll get we'll
Did
we'll
I
make
find?
this
Yeah,
fast.
what's fine. Did we find anything in the? Did I find anything in these
oh,
boxes?
yeah, outside of stopping to worry about your leg, you do not find anything but scrap in that cluster.
All right. Well,
All right, so Tavak, what are you doing?
I guess I'm searching this pile that I'm in front of.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking through, and you see little bits of glass. You're not sure what the glass was from, but you also see little pieces of metal. They're really, really small and hair-like, but rigid. But there's only little pieces of them. It's like it was made out of spaghetti, metal spaghetti, but thinner, but broken all up.
And
Otherwise, you just see piles of junk in there.
okay.
All right, Galen?
Okay, so I was searching this pile right here.
Okay, the one you're next to?
Uh-huh.
Yep, so you're searching through there, and you see a lot of debris. You see a lot of metal pieces that are with holes in them. You do see one foot wide by 1 inch deep metal disc that seems to somehow made it intact, and you see another one that breaks apart as soon as you even nudge it because it's so full of holes.
Okay, well I'll pick that one up, and then
It seems to match those discs you needed back at the spire.
yeah, no, I'll definitely grab that. I also actually wanted to take a quick look into the ship to see if I recognized anything.
We'll get to that because while you were doing that, Ragu was probably doing something. So Ragu, what were you doing?
Oh, okay.
I was investigating the ship, actually.
Okay, so on the outside, you can see that you don't know how the stuff works, but you do know when stuff's what it looks like when stuff is badly damaged, and this is clearly badly damaged, metal torn, areas collapsed inward, overgrown and covered with ivy. You can see inside there's not a seat as you would normally say. There's an area, it looks like maybe somebody could stand, and there is what looked like might have once been controls if they weren't so mangled. And then there is, in that standing area, there is a circular depression where it looks like that cylinder went. And then there are some wires that seem to hook the cylinder into the controls. And then you're looking back into the craft, and you can see what looks like some sort of cargo hold. Um, what you might find in a wagon or something like that, although fairly spacious. But unfortunately, it looks like somebody went through, a shredder and just threw debris everywhere. So what are you gonna do?
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to actually just kind of get in the ship and pick through it. Can see what all is back in the cargo hold. I know you said it was trash, but I'm not cleaning. I'm just
Okay,
picking.
so there's broken glass in the at the front. So I'm assuming you're gonna kick that in and jump in.
Unless there's a back door right here.
There
Don't
is
really see.
one that's partially open, and you can see stuff came out of it. You can see it looks like that. Yeah, it looks like there's a space because it seems like everything went forward. So you could probably crawl through that. The door itself isn't moving when you try to move it, but you could squeeze in.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, you squeeze in and you see some boxes, that are some of them are open, some of them have been shredded. You can see um, evidence that something back here must have caused damage from the inside, like an explosion or something, because things are way too shredded just from hitting the ground.
Okay.
And so go ahead and give me a perception check or an investigation if you want to see what you find. Okay, so yeah, you're looking through, and you find another one of those cylinders similar to what Ire found, but unfortunately this one was shredded. Um, and you also see you also find the partially damaged head of an automata, but without the body. Um, and in addition, you find a box with 10 of those tubes, those long tubes that were partially hollow. Um, each one, yeah. So they're very similar to essentially in real life they would basically look like they look a lot like what missiles would look like, with the rounded head, hollow on the back, and fairly heavy. Um, but it looks like these things have been most of them have been broken. There are two of them that are still intact.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Should I be um like a artificer to find anything? You know what I mean?
No, I
By not
think it's pretty clear to
explaining.
you what's destroyed and what's not. You've already investigated, and you're basically looking for anything that's basically not shredded at this point.
Yeah. Well,
And so, Galen, you show up now, and you wanted to make your roll on your D8, so you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I wasn't like searching for anything. I just wanted to look at it. Not,
Okay.
don't have it.
No, but you did figure out a lot about the those sword creatures, so
That's
that was
true.
definitely good.
Actually, there is something else I want to learn about them while I'm being chased.
Okay.
Um, because of how slow they are, I can still get in an attack as I'm fleeing. So I'm going to try and toss a couple of darts at them until I get a hit on them or I run out of darts.
Okay. Um, sure. Go ahead and make a couple of rolls and see how many darts you go through, and then eventually you should get a hit. So you're looking for a 14 or a 15. 14 for the young, 15 for the adults. All right. So there you go. You got your hit. You only lost one dart.
Okay. And, well, technically two, because that's the second throw.
Fair enough. Anyway,
So what does that do?
what is the dart made out of?
Oh, crap, that's right. I wanted to use a different weapon. Well, I'll realize that a little bit too late. I'm sure it's a metal dart, so probably just
Okay,
passes
so
through
that's what
harmlessly,
happened.
right?
Yeah, it passed through him and did nothing.
Okay, in that case, I want to try and grab some rocks off the ground
Okay.
and fling some of those at them.
Okay. I think it would be. I forget if those are a strength or a dex check. We can go ahead and do dex for now if you want. So yeah, go ahead and just do your dex with your proficiency.
All right.
Well, actually, there's plenty of rocks. Never mind. You hit him with a rock. So it hits the rock, hits him, does a small amount of damage, and bounces off.
Okay, that's all I was looking for. Okay, I'll continue the chase then.
Okay, fair enough. All right, back to Galen. So yeah, this ship didn't bring any memories back. You sure you've seen stuff like this, but it's just not surfacing. So what else are you gonna do?
I guess, did anybody search this small pile right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blocked it.
If that's the case, then
I'd actually like to also do a look around the ship.
Okay.
yeah, I kind of want to look at like the sides of the ship here, like the wings and whatever these tubes are.
Yeah, let me go ahead. I'm just moving something real quick. Sorry. All right, then I can
Yeah.
push you back.
I want to look if there's any like hatches on the floor or ceiling that might open for storage or something.
Sure. So you do so. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Okay. Yeah, you don't find any, which you're not surprised at. Ragu already went through there, and you weren't able to find anything that he didn't already find.
Right.
However, as you're searching, you're looking around the inside, and suddenly the voice pops in your head again, and it's like, "What happened? It's all destroyed. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Oh, wait. Explosion imminent. 5, 4,
What?
3, 2,
I'm running.
1.
Run!
I'm running.
Oh, that's what happened.
Oh.
No one else heard that, by the way, just Ire.
Okay.
But you all saw Ire starting to panic for a moment and started leaving the ship.
What was that? Was it a video or something? What you?
And then Ragu, what do you say when you and Galen, you're in the ship or around the ship, and then Ire's just looking around where trying to find stuff Ragu didn't, and then all of a sudden he starts panicking and starts leaving.
Yeah, I'll just be like,
Um,
"You okay?"
And
Something
I don't
wrong?"
hear what the voice is in his head, do I?
Exactly.
I look in. The ship crashed a long time ago. It's not like you're going down, my friend.
Sorry, I had a malfunction.
Yeah, I think we need to get you looked at.
Mhm.
Is
I
there
wanna-
anything else we can find here? I'm
Uh,
sure people's
I
tired
want to
already.
ask the guy 2 questions. One, is there anything while I'm here before we leave that he wants to do? And 2, I'm curious as to what form he was before the crash.
If you say that out loud, I will gladly point out the broken
No, it's in
automata
my.
head
Yeah, that's what I figured. I know,
in the
but
corner.
no, that's in my head, right? I think
Okay.
It says, what do I need here? Ah, yes, my power supply is at 15.7%. And as far as what I was, well, I was the ship. I piloted the ship, and then
How do you get-
suddenly I was falling out of the sky. There was a shot. Where'd the shot come from? Unauthorized attack. Yes, there was an unauthorized attack against me, and this I must report that unauthorized attack as soon as possible. But no time for that. I need to find the other 2 ships. There's 2 other ships.
Wait. What about your battery? You said your battery
yes,
is.
my battery is at 15%, and there's a hidden compartment, and then suddenly on your in your vision, you can see there's this green outline highlighted on the floor.
He's got HUD.
That's
He's got a HUD
underneath
now.
that's underneath the a bunch of broken metal boxes. And it says, yes, move the boxes and pull that out. And then there's a power supply in there. It's a cylinder. It is about 1 foot long, about 5 inches wide. Let's see. I think I got the measurements right. I did the conversion between the measurements that you were used to versus. And then he just trails off for a moment. Yes, and then once you grab it, then you will need to very carefully put me in standby mode. You will need to grab the cylinder and then you will need to put in, and it gives you a sequence. And then it gives you a whole instructions on removing a panel, hitting a sequence of 5 numbers in a very specific order within 3.5 seconds, and then twisting to the right, pulling, then twisting to the left, and then pulling, and then taking the other one and slamming it
Grab the
in,
power
and then
supply.
reversing everything, doing another code, and getting that all done within 45 seconds. Otherwise, he'll run out of power and die.
What does that do exactly?
It will recharge my power, and then when you take me to the next ship, you will need to cart that power supply with us. It's also a backup mine in case this mine gets destroyed. Hope you don't mind me taking up residence here.
It's fine.
So please help me out. So
Help you out? So wait, am I able to remove the power supply completely from the ship and like do that sequence over here? Like I can keep it with us?
Yes,
Like
yes, of
this?
course.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll attempt to do this sequence real quick.
All right. So
wait
you
a second.
go
Do
ahead.
I see what he's doing there?
Yeah, you see. Well, first, is actually in the ship, and you see him probably. What are you doing with all the boxes and stuff covering the panel that you have to remove?
I'll just move him to the other side of the ship over here.
Yeah. Well, so you see him. You hear him moving boxes around in the ship. And
I'm just
Galen,
watching.
given where you are, you can see through the back door. You can see him moving boxes around. So what do you guys do?
I'll say, hey guys, sorry, I have to charge the ship. Give me a minute.
When you say the ship, are you talking about the ship in your head?
The ship,
or this
yeah,
rusting hunk of junk?
the ship's mind, the ship's brain computer thing.
I have some questions. If you need the power supply, let's get that and let's be going. But
It'll
we
take
need to
45
be
seconds.
going.
It'll take 45 seconds. We'll be fine.
No, I mean,
He's gonna run out of power.
he's not going to run out of power because you're not going to run out of power.
I don't think that's how it works. His mind is
In your head.
It's powered by this power supply.
Oh, here I crawl in. Let me help.
Help me move the boxes.
I've got the whole artificer thing. I can follow advanced instructions and do like tinkery stuff.
Would it take me any rolls to do it, Jeremy, or is it something I can just do with direct instruction from him?
You can't. Basically, if it wasn't for the whole timing thing and getting the codes right the first time, probably.
Okay.
As it is, it'll take probably a mental intelligence check.
Intelligence check. All right. I'm gonna take out a piece of paper and have him write out, like, list all the instructions, and I'll write it out. Maybe that can help. Like, give me a bonus or something, so that I have a reference.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Raku, you're helping him with the boxes and everything.
I was going to actually be helping him with technical stuff too, but
Okay, well.
It doesn't sound like it'll really be able to.
So you guys work together. You move the boxes. You find the panel that you were looking for, Ragu, but unfortunately it was so buried under crap that there was very little chance that you would have found it. And then it just opens right up. There's no special locks or anything. And inside you see the cylinder. And so, Ire and Ragu, you said you're going to take it outside to work on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys take it outside, and you find the other cylinder, the large cylinder. And since you wrote down the instructions, you basically have to make a DC-10 intelligence check with advantage.
All right, that's not too bad.
Okay.
There we go.
You quickly swap out the power supplies, and in your head you hear the voice. Ah, much better. I am now at 92.7%.
Wait, can I just do that forever? Or are we gonna run out of power?
I will eventually run out of power. The old power supply that you took out, the old rod is dead. We just throw it
How
away.
do you get? Oh,
Um,
well, it's got 15% left. I'll hold on to it.
but
How do you get more?
15%. Yes. Well, sure. But we need to find the other two. The other two, like me, we are all supposed to make a delivery at the same place. So clearly, you have to find them and find out what happened to them and if they're still alive.
How long will 92% last?
It will last me. Let me calculate. 27.8 days, assuming that assuming I stay online the entire time. Oh wait, I'm attached to you now, and I'm drawing on some of your power as well. So I hope you don't mind. So that will be 47.8 days.
All right, that's good enough. Let's get out of here.
But if we reach the city, we can find a better.
There is no city. Where's the city?
Well, we have to reach the city so I can report the unauthorized weapon fire.
There are ruins, and some of the ruins are powered. That might be enough, but let's discuss that once we get Pico back. He is still running for his life, so we can stay here.
Go on,
I've got an idea. Ire and Galen. Galen, you take Ire off over that way and see what we can do about his leg. You come with me.
Is he cutting out for everybody else?
Yeah, I hear about every third word. So go ahead and start again, Ragu.
Hello, Doc?
Yeah.
Oh?
See what you can do about his leg, like off map over there, far away. And don't go anywhere until we come back with Pico. Devak, I need you to be coming with me.
Okay.
We're going to come over here to the cliff. And I'm going to help you up the cliff if you need help.
If you don't care
Okay.
about making noise, it's only 10 feet, so you guys can make your climb. Pico only had to make a roll because to avoid knocking things loose.
Okay. And I go ahead and give a message to Char. The Pico the signal brings him back.
Okay. Galen, are you...
Whilst I... Go ahead.
Oh, Galen, are you there or are you with Ire?
Where did Ire go? Off this way? I
Down
guess
here.
I'll be with
Yeah.
Ire.
Yeah, you're supposed to be binding Ire's leg and making
Oh
sure
yeah,
that
I'll
that
cast
other thing
mending
doesn't...
on him and
Yeah,
do
that
stuff
other
like
thing
that.
doesn't take over his body again and just start walking off without us. It seems to be in
No.
way more of a hurry than it needs to be.
No, he's just confused. I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Okay. But yeah, if you can help Ire in any way, that'd be awesome. We're going to get Pico back and try and kick some arse. Whilst I give that message and waiting for Pico to come back, I'm going to ask Jeremy a quick question here.
Okay.
My falchion, my fancy longsword, or my foreign-looking longsword,
Okay.
that came with a full scabbard.
I'm assuming so.
The full scabbard's made out of leather, not metal.
Actually, are you talking about the iridescent sword, or are you talking about an
My
actual
falchion, my actual first
Okay,
weapon,
yeah,
the
it
weapon
would
I was
have a
using
leather
before was
scabbard,
leather.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a full scabbard, so I can go ahead and like take the strap and tie it around the cross handle, and that way, even if I swing the sword, it'll stay in the leather, right?
Sure.
Okay. And Devak, you have a spear, do you not?
I do.
That spear's got a big fancy metal head on it, yes?
Whoa.
What? What?
Spear's got a big fancy metal head on it, yes?
Yes, I do.
Flip it around and use the butt side. But get
Okay.
ready. We're just going to
I'm ready.
swing and keep them from climbing. Pico should be coming back very soon. And
Okay.
as I say that, I go ahead and look behind me to this big tree or bush. And is there a good piece of branch or a good, a good sturdy branch or
Yeah,
something
this
like that that I
it's a
can just
forest,
hack off
so
for a.
you can get plenty of sturdy, big pieces of or big sticks.
Yeah, I just want a big sturdy stick so I can, use it as a temporary makeshift bow staff if necessary.
Okay.
A non-metal weapon.
Right.
Or yeah, something like that. Okay. All of that, Pico should be coming back. And I turn to Devak. When Pico comes back, he's going to climb up here very, very quickly. But these things, they don't climb so well. So they can't reach us at 10 feet. So we're going to swing to keep them off the cliff and blast them at range. Ready?
Sounds good.
So it looks like you're basically turning our weapons into clubs, which do damage, but they're not heavy. So it's basically it looks like a D4 damage plus your strength bonus.
Well, we only
We're
need
just trying to
the.
get them off the cliff.
Sorry, say
Yeah,
that again.
we only need to swing our makeshift clubs to keep them from climbing up the cliff. We're going to blast them with ranged weapons.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so what are you telling Pico? Or what are you telling Char to tell Pico?
Oh, I already gave the message. Char flew down and gave Pico the caw. Let's go back, caw. Bring him back, caw.
So, Pico, the question I have for you then is, are you actually leading them back, or are you taking off? Meaning,
So,
you can leave them behind easy enough. Is that what? So, are you leaving them behind, or are you specifically trying to lure them back?
so here's my plan. I'm assuming that there are other little cliffs and obstacles around, little dinky hills in this area.
Yep.
Okay, so what my plan is, first, I'm going to go ahead and do a dash to kind of double the distance so that I can stop for just a few seconds before they can catch up to me. The idea being is that gives you just enough of a breather to reset feline agility.
Okay.
I am then going to go ahead and go kind of directly away from where I want to be going, dip around a corner. As soon as I go around the corner, I drop disguise self, trigger feline agility, and do a dash in order to go around the obstacle and run back the way I came as quick as possible. And at that point, I'm just going to keep doing dashes until I can, well, A, to get as much distance as possible, and B, find as many obstacles to get behind so they can't see where I'm going.
Okay. Well, given that they are chasing Ire, and then suddenly Ire's gone because you go around an obstacle and you come out as something that's not Ire, they don't even seem to pay attention to you, and they just keep moving forward looking for Ire.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and hightail it back to the group as fast as I can.
Okay. So it's probably another see, you guys are there probably for a good half an hour or so, so it's probably another 15 minutes before Pico shows up, and you notice, Ragu, that Pico showed up alone. Pico, you figure that eventually those things will give up and return. You know that you guys have plenty of time to leave, but you could stay and wait.
All right.
And you've arrived, so what do you guys do?
All right.
I kind of
what
look
do you-
past him over his shoulder And I look back and I look up at Char, who's circling. I thought we were going to crush enemy. Did you forget the enemy?
I figured we didn't need to be risking any more attacks going wrong. I mean, I think we're probably better off just leaving, unless you guys still have unfinished business here.
No,
I
we just
agree.
have some other person in Ayer's head now, and his leg's about to fall off, but he's too macho to let us try and fix it.
Well,
I'd say
that
we go
sounds like
back.
another good reason to not deliberately provoke an encounter.
Well, don't worry, he's far away. It's just us three.
Well, that still means a lack of reinforcements. We don't need to fight the things. I don't even know how long it's going to take for them to come back. They saw me leaving and ignored me because they thought they were still chasing Ayer.
You suspect they'll come back. It might take them an hour or so. Yeah, so it's up to you guys what to do next.
I guess the question I have is that thing that they're on, is that actually a uniform cliff?
What do you mean? It's about the same height all the way around. Yeah. It's a raised section of terrain. It basically circles around, and there's more cliffs and stuff around.
I'm going to go walk over to the remains of the one that was killed.
Okay.
Is there anything interesting about that stuff?
You see a bunch of little pieces of what look like metal, although it's slightly warm to the touch. You see two small, looks like green gemstones, but there's some sort of liquid inside, um, and a bunch of little specks that are floating around in the liquid.
I mean, maybe if these things carried some sort of interesting loot, maybe fighting them would make sense, but wasting an hour possibly, or who knows how long, just so that we can go ahead and hopefully slaughter them better than the first time seems like maybe counterproductive.
Why would we fight them at this point? I think we should leave.
Yeah, I think we should just go. We've got what we came for.
Yeah, we don't have any reason. There's nothing left there.
But I think we should work on charging this guy and just using his brain for all that he knows.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, let's just leave.
Yes.
Keep going. Although, if we have time, I need to what is it called? When you like bind with a magic weapon or a magic item. Attune to the cloak that heals me.
So that'll basically take basically an hour. Yeah, you basically can be doing light activity and whatnot, but obviously not combat and that kind of thing. You
Right.
could theoretically do that while you're traveling, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, once we get back on the road again.
On the road again.
All right. So have you all decided to leave, or are you guys still
Yep.
having that discussion?
No, we're out of here.
Okay.
Yes, I mean,
Let me move you back to the map then. Oh, let me get you guys centered. All right, you have moved one hex so far. If you stay in the thick forest, you have 2 more. If you cross into the stone forest, you have 1 more. So, where do you go?
So, I guess we start heading off before we really pick a direction. So what exactly happened while I was gone?
I go ahead and explain everything. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I found a switch and I flipped it, and the ship's brain went into my brain, and now we're sharing, I guess.
And then suddenly, Ayer's head kind of starts moving around in a weird way, and it says, "Hi, everybody. It is good to meet you. Oh, and I didn't meet you before either. Animal person. Pico. Yes. Good to meet you. I am ship 1327. And we have to find the other two ships that were shot down with unauthorized weapon fire and report them to the city."
What other two ships?
The other two ships that were making they were making important cargo delivery, and there was some sort of special event. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yes, your orders are absolute. You must make this delivery, and your allies must also make this delivery. If you are late, it could mean the death of our entire world. Something like that.
Wait, question. Is there a way to track, this is in my mind, I'm asking him, is there a way to track the other ship's locations?
Attempting. Failed.
Okay,
Failed.
follow-up question. Do you know the location of the city, or at least the direction it is from our current location?
Well, we should check out the ships too.
We don't know where they are.
Yeah, we don't know where they are. Yeah, good point.
The city. Yes. I can point you in the direction. And suddenly, Ire, he swivels on his feet, and it actually hurts your leg, Ire. And then he points, and he points in this direction.
Oh, well, look at that. That's where we're going.
And
Okay.
then at this point, he says, "Come on, everybody, let's go." And then he steps real hard and hurts your leg again, Ire.
Oh my,
So
stop.
what are you gonna do?
Okay, follow-up question for you, not for him. If we had another horse or something, could we go any faster? Or
The cart's already the mules with the cart with the mule already goes at your walking speed, and the limitation is the cart. You guys already have as many mules as or whatever you can have. You could potentially swap them out for horses and go a little faster but that really would only work on flat terrain, and it would tire out the horses.
all right, that's fine.
Plus, are there any roaming horse salesmen in the area?
You never know. All right. Well,
Anyway, so Ire, are you going to try to gain control back? Or are you just going to let
Yes.
this guy have it?
yes, I am. And then I also want to ask him if he can do any magic or anything useful. Maybe, I don't know.
What's magic?
Oh, okay. Well,
Hold on, I don't mean to interrupt, but while Ire was having the fight in the head with the pilot thingy, after it mentioned the other ships, I'm gonna look around at the party and I'm like, is that something we're doing?
I think if we happen upon them, we happen upon them. If we don't, we don't. We should just continue on our path to where we need to go, to the city.
I had a thought myself. We saw how the flying boat thing. It had a pilot, yes, to move. Well,
Yeah.
are we not going to fast traveling things? What if we are needing a pilot there? Perhaps we could use him.
What are you talking? What?
I'm gonna pull out my map and
Do you know what I'm talking about?
because
No.
if it's not, well, ideally this is before Ire's taken control again.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, okay, we've got this incomplete map. Here's the settlement we're trying to go to, pointing to where one of the transit stations is. Does this line up with your destination at all?
It is close. Yes. Let's go that way. And once we reach the city, we can make inquiries, and we'll be able to potentially find where the other two ships went down. But it's very important we find the other ships. We should go now. Let's go. Ire, what are you going to do?
I'm taking over.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Check.
And and then you see Ire stop for a moment, and then you hear the voice. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Okay, well, as far as moving forward,
Wait, Jimmy, did I attune to the other cloak yet, or?
Yeah, it's oh actually, if it's been an hour, I don't know. It probably hasn't been an hour yet. 'Cause you haven't moved yet.
Okay. So do I need to regain control to do that?
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can do to fight him, or?
Just ask him. Just say, hey, can I have my
Hey,
body back?
let me have my body back.
Oh, am I taking over again? You're gonna go find the ships, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Here. And then you have control again.
Okay, no, I'll start tuning my cloak.
All right.
so here are our two choices. We can head north a little bit more, although I think even doing that with the faster terrain, we're probably going to end up getting slowed down doing that unless we can sort of skirt around the petrified forest. Or we can go ahead and start cutting through right now, which is going to slow us up, but it's probably going to be the most direct route to the destination. Do we want to spend a few hours going north and see if there might be any sort of other ways to cut through, or are we just going to go ahead and do this the
Oh wait.
straightforward way?
It was here, wasn't it?
It's up to you guys. I don't care.
Ragu, you want to try sending Char up and just see if we can get an idea of how far the forest extends north?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have him go as high as he can with his good old vision and see if he can see anything that might be of a just anything that sticks out as a possible benefit or hindrance.
Okay. So one thing that Charlie notices right away is that the to the east, it's almost a straight line, and to the east of that line is this stone forest, and it's covered with this thick fog, and Char can't see through it.
You mean over here?
Oh, I'm
This
sorry. I meant to the east. I
The
said
east,
that
yeah.
this way.
over this way.
Yeah,
Okay,
over
sorry.
this way. And then to the west, if he's looking that way, is going to be is a river, and there's more forest and rocky spires that way. To the north, the river eventually turns east, but the stone forest continues past that point.
Well, the stone forest keeps going all the way down, but it is all foggy and he cannot see very much in there for hindrances.
Not
river-
north.
But the
The
river goes
river,
to the forest?
the river does turn east to go into the forest, and if we can fishy up a raft and we know we're not going to get eaten by river monsters, then that might be a quick path. Otherwise, just going through the unknown foggy forest.
He seems to think the river turns into the forest up here somewhere.
Oh, okay, so that's way past our destination. Yeah, it's a bit too far out.
All right, I think we're probably just better off cutting straight across.
Yeah.
Shane, you should probably start mentally preparing this guy for the thing being destroyed.
Yeah.
What?
Do you guys understand what I mean
Yeah,
by
the city. Yeah.
You understand what I mean by we're going to be needing its help, or
No.
maybe?
Not
The
at all.
flying boat thing is the flying boat thing is a transportation. Yes.
The ship.
Yes, it is a transportation. Where are we going? To a place with transportation, so we can transportation back to the crater. What if we need a pilot to take it from one place to the next?
How do we know
The
there's a
only one
ship
we
there?
have is him in your head.
How
I
do
do
we-
not know how to pilot it. That's what I mean.
But
We might need
you're
it.
making the assumption that there's a ship at our destination. I don't know if there will be.
Well, we don't know what it is. It could be a flying boat. It could be like the underground wormy tube thing like we saw at the crater. We don't know. But if it needs a pilot of some sort, we are not qualified to be doing this.
Well, I
Uh-huh.
think we don't have the option of not taking him there unless we plan to
No.
just give up on our mission. So I think it's a largely
Uh-huh.
irrelevant topic.
Well, no,
all
what
right.
I meant was taking him to his place first so he could be whatever. I think we need to bring him with us. Convince him that we should be going this way.
In any case, I want to ask him if he's able to like take over, maybe my like part of my subsystems or maybe my repair drones and make it work better, work faster.
Interesting idea.
That it might be possible. I mean, you're going to find the other ships, and we need to find those ships as soon as possible. And we need to report the unauthorized weapon fire at the city. If speeding you up, yes. Oh, I know. Hold on. Give me a couple minutes. And suddenly, Ayers stands completely still, and you see his faceplate start flickering and glowing, and everything's just gone black. And then he says, "Okay, I got it." And then you come back, and it's like everybody just moved suddenly. It's like they're in one place, and then suddenly they're in a different place, almost like everybody teleported simultaneously. And then it's like activating repair system, and roll 2d6.
No way.
No way, it worked. He's helping you through
You
his
gained
brain
you gained
powers.
back 6 hit points, and it says
Insane.
recharge. I'm currently recharging your repair system. I don't know when I can do that again, but as soon as I can, I'll let you know.
Awesome. All right. What a legend this guy is.
Yeah,
I
he's
know.
a hero.
All right, let's move into the forest, I guess.
Shane, you need to
Alright.
tell him the city's gonna be completely
Yeah.
destroyed.
As we're going, I'm gonna try and hint at him that it's been a long time, and the end of the world may or may not have happened, and the city may
Yeah,
or may
we
not
should-
exist.
That.
All right,
Probably from
so
another you and me, because he probably recognized both of
Maybe,
you at the
yeah.
same time here.
so you enter the foggy forest, and I've already adjusted all your characters in here so that they have the correct visibility. It's not dark vision; it's actually your vision in the fog. The fog all around you is
Oh, God.
thick and solid gray. You can see the towering stone trees. The ground is covered with stone leaves that slip and crack underfoot. Please don't mess with the light settings.
Yeah, I'm
because-
sorry. I pressed something and now I can't see if I don't have the light on.
All right, hold on.
My
I was
bad.
wondering what the flickering was.
And
There, you're fixed.
Thank
Move
you,
along,
thank you,
please.
thank you.
All right. Anyway,
it looks like my settings aren't correct. I didn't mess with anything.
okay,
but,
hold on. Let's see.
I don't
move
know.
yet.
I haven't touched anything. I'm assuming I'm fine.
Yours are at 60, and that is intentional. So you can see, right?
Yeah.
But it reduced vision compared to what you're used to, right?
Okay, guys, let's not
Yeah.
run
Okay.
away.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't want to
Anyway,
be here.
so like I was saying, you enter the forest. You can see the trees have been petrified. The leaves are underfoot. You can see the branches and debris all around you, all made of stone. A lot of it has been already crushed and created this sandy surface and these slabs of stone that move and crack underneath you. And the first thing you notice is you feel drained. You feel like this place is draining your life away. And the second thing you notice are the shadows in your peripheral vision, hidden in the fog, flits of light and darkness that are gone as soon as you go to look for them. So what do you do?
We're in some like weird wasteland. I don't like it.
Well, do we want to try and find a scenic route, or we press ahead?
This place is like walking through the veil. I am not so sure we will be good to to get through it.
And
Yeah. Is
you
there
hear
a
a
better way
loud
around?
cracking noise as Ragu steps on petrified leaves that break apart.
Perhaps the scenic route might not necessarily be the shortest route.
Yeah, it's definitely not the shortest route, although I guess the only real concern would be is that if it doesn't actually avoid any of this stuff, although on the plus side, given where we expect it to be, um, the worst case scenario is that we'd have to go through about the same amount of petrified forest anyway.
Hmm.
So it shouldn't, I mean, it'll slow us down trying to find a way around, but it shouldn't make our situation worse.
You
Well,
do
how do
know
we feel
that
after being here for a few minutes? I know you said that we feel drained. Are we physically losing hit points drained, or is it just an oppressive feeling?
it feels like an oppressive feeling. However, if you have I guess Arcana would work. If you have Arcana, you can make a check just to get more of a mechanical effect.
Okay.
Huh.
Do you want to help me out here, Pico? Or since we're discussing this?
Well, given that this is more, I mean, potentially more magic spell like, I wonder if maybe a Devok or Galen should help you, and I could one of the other, and then the other can help me because I could try my
Okay.
spell lore.
Okay.
I do have
Devak, you want to?
Arcana, so I could
Yeah.
help.
Right.
Although it's not very high. I only have like a
You
5 in
can
it.
actually, Galen, you can alternatively make a religion check.
That I will like to do.
All right. So, like Ire, if you help me, then Devak, you can help Pico with the spell, and then Galen can give us the religious aspect there.
Sure.
21.
All right. So basically, the impression you get is this place is permeated by the spirits of the dead, and as a result, these spirits walk this forest, and the mechanical effects of this ever-present draining is that you will be drained 2 hit points every day. You can gain them back as normal, but every day you will lose 2 hit points, and you will have to make a DC 10 Constitution save to avoid gaining a level of exhaustion, and you cannot regain levels of exhaustion.
Oh God, we gotta get out of here.
However, like I said, those 2 hit points you can gain them back by normal means, so it's not lowering your maximum; it's just lowering your current. On the other hand, you do know from Ragu's scouting that this stone forest went as far north as he could see. Um, so there's that.
I actually have kind of another idea. Go ahead and have Pico pull out his map again, or is it Ire, whoever's holding the map?
I guess we'll say I am, since I've been the one kind of doing the navigating.
Yeah. All right. I kind of try and get a good estimate of direction and distance to where we're going.
Well, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take.
Oh, we're about 3 days out, or 2.5, I think, now, based
Oh
on
yeah,
the hex
days
breath.
days is one thing, but miles distant is something else. That's why I'm trying to get a good idea.
Well, the hexes are what size? 6 miles?
Yeah.
So it's about 30.
All right. So
Okay.
30 miles shouldn't be too terribly bad.
I'll put you back.
Where are we?
Yeah, sorry. I'll put you back. Oh, wait, I didn't put you back. My bad.
That's okay. I found it.
There we go. Yeah, since he already gave you information, we don't have it. We don't
All
have to
right.
go back.
So Char can go ahead and circle up, and he can actually get to several hundred feet. Actually, I'm not sure what an owl's ceiling is, like 1,000 or something. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and just circle up and try and get a good look around 30 miles out over the fog. If it's just solid fog and surrounded by forest in all directions, that's one thing. But if he can kind of see the river and that is closer, and the river is not covered in evil fog, then that might be an alternative. That's what I'm looking for.
All right, so let me go ahead and let me look real quick myself so I can
Yeah,
double
I
check
don't
before.
expect you to open up the map. You can just look yourself. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2, 3, 4. So the river looks like from Char that it's 30 miles to the north before it crosses in. Um, and it looks like once the river passes into the stone forest, it disappears. He can't see it. Not
So
not
it
that I
is
mean that it literally disappears, but he can't see it because of the fog.
okay. So being on the river isn't a border or an exclusionary area of the fog's effect or the
It does
forest
not seem
effect.
to be. It seems like the fog in the forest continues to about 35 to 40 miles. And beyond that, the fog ends, and he just sees this flat black expanse.
All right. Well, I was hoping, but I guess I'm being wrong. As Char comes back down, I go ahead and explains that the shortest path is the best. There's no other real way unless we can all fly.
Well, I sort of can, but it doesn't help anybody else.
I mean, I do have a like undead horse I could summon theoretically.
Actually, before we do that, you said I could make a religion check. Would that bring anything else that we
You can
like any
make
other
it if you
new
want,
information?
but yeah, you can go ahead and make it. Sure.
Just to see if I get really good. I didn't, but that's
Okay,
fine.
so yeah, so you're the whole the dead being here. You're basically able to confirm that, and you get the impression that whatever they were in life, they basically they've been corrupted in death.
Okay, so they're evil. Got it.
Any religious ways to keep them at bay or away from us?
No clue. Could I make a check for that or a
No,
ceremony
outside
check
of
maybe?
whatever cleric kind of spells you might have.
Okay.
I don't have very many anti-dead cleric spells. I have speak with dead, so we can chat with them, but I'm not sure they'd be great with conversation.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, the shortest path through this horrid place is going to be our best bet. Let's all hope we do not roll very low.
All right, so what do you do?
Well, I'll go ahead and scout ahead just a bit.
Okay, as you're scouting ahead, you hear rustling over from this area to the northeast. And you see the branches suddenly start moving, but you don't see
We're
anything there.
not interested. Not
Uh,
interested.
I'm gonna
Go
light my
this way.
lantern
Okay.
and use Mage Hand to run it over that way.
Okay. As you run it over, you see that this particular area doesn't light up. And in
Eh.
fact, as you do so, I am going to have you roll initiative.
Did you just
Oh, you're
crit
kidding.
success your initiative, Pico?
Apparently, it's probably gonna be the only good roll I have tonight.
Oh!
Excellent job. Oh no, iron.
All right. Did everybody roll?
Yeah.
So what you see around you is suddenly, um, out of the darkness and the fog, you see these shadowy spirits arise, and they seem to be screaming and scratching at the air. And you even see spirits of some sort of beast. And it is clear as they look upon you that they mean to tear you from limb to limb.
In a place like this? No.
No way.
Pico, what do you do as you stare at the hungry maw of the nearest spirit?
All right. Well, I don't know what you guys can see, but I too see two spirit things to the northeast, and I see another group of them farther away to the east and slightly south. I'm going to try and hit one of the closest ones and then come back. So let's see. Run out to here. Booming blade.
Okay, and let's see. You're using a magical weapon, correct?
The weapon isn't, but
it's a spell. That's fine.
Yeah.
And what's the spell type?
Thunder.
Okay, so they have resistance against thunder. So basically, what we'll do is you'll do the full weapon damage, but half the magic damage.
All right. I haven't actually rolled that, so I guess I'll.
So a 19 hit, if that's what your roll is.
Yeah, and then so the weapon did 8 damage, and then I'll just roll a d4 for the booming blade part.
Okay.
So 12 total.
All right. So yeah, you hit him for 12, which definitely seems to have a large impact. You knock out half its health.
All right. Speaking of which, these guys don't seem to have health bars either.
Really? I'm sorry. I thought I said all these, but apparently not. They're all new creatures. One of these days I'll get it right. Alright, you should see all the health bars now.
Yep, okay.
Let me
Yeah, that's
change
good.
that one as well for when he... There we go. Alright, so yeah, you see the health bar and you can see the damage you did.
Okay. Well, let's see. I probably do not want to be in the front, although animal spirit. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull to here.
Okay. Alright, so you see one of the spirits from the trees quickly move forward. And so that is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as you see, he quickly moves, gliding over the ground. And you see that the little bits of sand and rock do seem to be slightly disturbed as he flies over it. However, he does not have quite enough movement to attack, so he's just going to stay where he is. And the animal spirit seems to lope, running like a dog, but his feet never quite touch the ground. And as he moves forward, you hear this loud, ear-piercing whine coming from its throat.
All right, these things seem to be weak, although we might be dealing with a lot of them.
And Ragu, the first spirit close enough to attack, he moves forward and he swipes towards you, but without actually touching you, you suddenly feel pain as it attempts to drain your life. With a 15, however, it does not actually succeed, so you feel the pain, but lose no health. All right, Galen, the spirits are closing in. What are you going to do?
And I see 5 so far.
Yeah, we need to. You said they're immune to lightning?
Well, they're resistant to thunder, but regular weapons seem to hit so far. Or
Okay.
Specifically, magic
magic
weapons.
one.
And it's resistant to thunder, which means it does half damage.
Okay, well, I'll shoot this one with a firebolt
Okay.
off that way.
It is resistant to
Just-
fire, but it
Damn
you do still do damage. Okay, so which one are you
God
attacking?
damn it. The one that Pico had hit originally up
Fair
in the
enough.
corner.
Yep, go for it.
I just don't want anybody else coming in.
That hits.
Now,
So that is 6 damage. Go ahead, Ragu.
Oh.
What were you saying?
now the non-magic, plain old physical attack from Pico's attack went through all the way, or did it
it
only go
still
through because
affected
it was
it.
magical?
Basically, when you attack as part of a spell, then it counts as a magical attack.
Okay, that's all. Okay, gotcha.
All right. So your fire definitely hurt it, and it's hurt fairly badly. It's wailing at the moment, but it was clearly half as effective as normal. Is that the end of your turn?
No, this thing looks like it's coming from me, so. Pico, you want to take one for the team? Thanks.
Fair enough. All right.
Wow. Okay then. That's
Tavok,
awesome.
the spirits are closing in. The sinister spirit to the northeast is almost vanquished. What are you gonna do?
I'll shoot that one real quick. Actually, do I have disadvantage because there's someone next to me, or is it only if I'm attacking him with a ranged spell?
If somebody is within melee range of you and they can attack you, then yeah, you have disadvantage with ranged attacks.
Then I'll back up and just take the
Okay.
attack.
Well, let me do that first, real quick. 18, no, 13, so that doesn't hit. Okay, go ahead, do your attack.
Okay, I'll shoot Sinister Spirit 2 first.
Okay.
Of
And it hits a
course.
tree.
Does that hit?
That does hit. And
For 10 damage.
Eldritch Blast, what type of damage is that?
Force.
Force.
And
It says right
that's
under
full
there.
damage. So
Force.
yep, you do full damage.
Okay, cool.
And the spirit wails as it fades and disappears. Is that the end of your turn?
Cool. Can I move more? Yeah,
If
sorry.
you still have movement, sure.
Okay, then I'll move back.
All right, Ragu, the spirit is right up in your face trying to drain your life. What are you going to do?
Char's gonna fly over this way and fly back out of the way to give me advantage, and I am going to swing away.
Okay.
29.
That 12 does hit.
29.
Oh,
12 hits.
that 12 would have hit. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, you hit.
Okay.
All right. And that is the full 16.
And I'm gonna follow up with a punch because I don't have a magic bonus attack.
Okay. Your brass knuckles, you strike into the spirit, finding a little bit of solidity, enough to do half damage. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so there's still half damage on them.
Yep.
3?
Yep.
4? 3.
Yeah, and it is still alive, but you definitely hurt it.
Okay,
Is that the end of your turn?
that most certainly is.
All right, Ire. Don't know why you're not highlighted, but it is your turn.
All right.
You can see that one of the spirits has been destroyed. The spirit in front of Ragu was almost dead. So what are you going to do?
Come over here and hit the one by Ragu.
Okay. And that hits. And your weapon is technically magical, so you shear it in half, and the spirit just kind of fades. And as it fades, you hear this this howl come from from the spot where it was. And as that second howl echoes off the ground, you suddenly the ground beneath you starts to vibrate, and you hear a scream, and so loud that you have to cover your ears, and you sense a presence in the distance.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
Come back down here and get this one.
Okay. And that hits.
Nice.
Okay. 8 points. And as you strike into it, it howls as well. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the animal spirit runs up and jumps at you as if to bite, but without actually touching you. You feel this draining force, but with a 9 that fails to do anything.
Oh, shoot.
And we're at the beginning of the round, and it'll be your turn, but let me resort. What's the issue?
I was realizing, which was the one I had attacked? Well, I guess it's already been killed, right?
It has.
Yeah. I forgot to track whether or not the booming blade would have gone off.
Pico, you're muted. Or you're not working.
No, I was muted.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Did your blooming blade go off?
It wouldn't matter 'cause the thing's dead.
Yeah, that's fine. So you heard you feel a presence from this direction, and
Which direction? We
two.
don't see your highlights.
It's off the map. It's mostly to the right and slightly
This
up.
direction.
Okay.
But it's off in the black area. And 2 of the spirits have been destroyed, so what are you going to do?
All right. Well, I see 3. Right now, shoot, I suspect. Well, they might all have that. I'm gonna go ahead and. Oh damn. I guess there's no good way to set up for this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move here. Booming blade, the one right below me, and then I'll retreat.
Okay. You do not hit.
All right. Well, so I'm gonna go ahead and
It just wasn't where you thought it was.
back up here to the caster line.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. So Sinister Spirit 3 is going to move around and attack Ire from the back with advantage.
Oh.
And with a 22, Ire, you feel your life being drained. You lose 9 hit points, and you have to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. All right, you make it. But had you failed, your maximum hit points would have also gone down by 9 until the next long rest. And from the fog, you see this large, a very dark humanoid spirit moving forward. It looks a little bit like a shadow kind, but it looks like something else as well. And then the animal spirit is going to rush up and try to take out the weak link.
Not again.
And he
Dude,
has
you need to know
advantage.
what.
So with a 21, he hits. So you take another 5 points of damage, and you have to make another DC 10 Constitution saving throw, which you succeed. So you do not lose from your maximum hit points. Galen, you can see that Ire is almost dead, and you can see the dark spirit approaching. What are you going to do?
Heal me.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a heal on him.
Okay.
1 second. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds. I think I'm gonna upcast it to level 2 though for you, bud.
All right. Is it touch or ranged? I forget.
It's
Touch.
touch, but I'm just gonna. He's right there. I'm just gonna coming in at. Hold on. Let me see. Well,
If you come into here, you've got this guy, and if you come into here, you've got this guy. So just
yeah,
come into here, and that way you can not worry about him with advantage with me.
yeah, that sounds good.
And it's the
I'll go right
closest.
here. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you get 9 hit points back.
No, better than
Oh,
nothing.
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the end of your turn, Galen?
Shoot. I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right, Devok. You can see that Ire is surrounded and nearly dead, but Galen is just healed him. You can see 2 of the spirits are dead, and the dark spirit approaches. What are you going to do?
I'll shoot Sinister Spirit 3.
Okay. The first one hits.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
10
that's my
points
turn.
of damage. A
Mhm.
good solid hit, which he definitely noticed. Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
And Ragu, the spirit beneath
Hey,
you,
did you hit once or twice?
he only hit once.
The second one missed.
You should be rolling with advantage because he's flanked there.
Oh, that is a good point.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll for advantage on the 11. Actually, go ahead and do it on both of them in case you get a crit.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, there you go.
I rolled a 1.
Well, but I
Thanks
was
for reminding
trying.
us, Ragu, but it
I
didn't work this time.
trying to help.
Yep,
No,
no,
I
you
know.
are. No problem. All right, Ragu,
All
what are you
right.
going to do?
I'm going to swing away. Yes. I'm going to advantage, swing away at Spirit 3,
Okay,
18,
that hits.
16.
And you've just finished him off.
I'll take one step over here. And even though I know it's not much, I'm going to go ahead and
That hits. You punch him, and he feels a little for 3 points of damage.
yeah, I figured it was only going to be 3.
And
Okay.
as you finish off that previous spirit, and it howled and vanished, the dark spirit raised its clawed hands to the air and screamed in silence. But as he did so, the ground shook a little.
Okay. And now that I have moved, Char's going to fly down here and give the next person advantage on Animal Spirit 2 for whoever attacks.
Okay,
And then get right back here.
fair enough. Ire, the spirit behind you has been vanquished. What are you going to do?
I'm not flanked anymore, right?
You're not flanked.
I think I'll be fine.
Sure. I guess.
I'll attack Animal Spirit too.
Okay. And you hit.
And one
13
more.
points of damage.
Once again.
That hits again for another 15. And somehow yet it still lives. Still
All
haunts your
right.
dreams. Is that the end of your turn?
But not by much.
Yes.
Okay, so we're at the beginning of round 3. Animal Spirit 2 is going to attack you, Ire.
With
Mhm.
initiative of 2, shouldn't it be at the end of round 2?
Yeah, that's weird. Why is he at the top?
Oh, that is a good point.
He
And
was at the bottom of the round in round 1. I don't know how he
Oh,
got
I
jumped
think it's
over.
when the other one got added. It might not have got sorted properly. Okay, yeah. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and do his thing, and then I'll resort just to make sure I the round markers in the right spot. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, he does not have advantage, so the 15 is not good enough to damage Ire, although you still feel the pain. Okay, so now we have everybody correctly sorted. We're correctly at the beginning of the round. And Pico, another spirit has died. The dark spirit approaches. What are you going to do?
Jeez, there's like no right way to do this, but I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And from here, I'm going to cast Booming Blade.
Okay, unfortunately, that is not hit.
Advantage. With
Oh, yes,
advantage.
That was specifically why I moved to this spot, too.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll again to see if you get. Okay, now you hit. And you take it out, and you know that for some reason the animal spirits have an AC of 13 instead of 12 like the other ones.
Alrighty.
Is that the end of your turn, or you still have more to do?
I guess I'm gonna back up some. 1, 2. That should run out the movement. How are you doing, Ire?
I've been better.
All right. Well, I guess that's
He might need a falling back, Pico.
if yeah, I don't think I can do anything else at this point, so I'm done moving.
Okay. So the dark spirit, he points his finger at the ground, and suddenly another spirit who didn't work. Sorry, let me fix that. Suddenly, another spirit rises from the ground.
Yeah,
And
no
now I'm going to
surprises
roll initiative
there.
for it. And that's going to fail because I have to reset the scripts. One moment, please. Sorry about that.
Murdoch. Just what we need.
Stupid archvile.
All right, there we go. Scripts are reset. And I will resort and then go back. Dang it. One of these days I'll get it right. All right. Resorting. And now we go to the animal spirit near Ire and Galen, who is going to continue to try to destroy Ire with a vengeance.
Not this again.
He goes to touch Ire, but with a 17, fails to cause anything more than pain. Animal Spirit 2, who just got risen from the ground, is going to move.
Smooth.
He's gonna be really smooth about it too.
And actually, you get an attack of opportunity because so does Ire, because it moved past you too. So you guys can go and take it.
Woo!
Bop.
All right, so that definitely hurt it. That was definitely not smart of the thing. And Pico, you heard it as well.
Great. You mean
Ragu.
Ragu?
No, Pico is the one taking the attack of opportunity, not Ragu.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how?
Around.
How did? Oh, yeah.
Because
I was gonna say what direction.
Because it moved around this way, and
Oh,
past these
okay.
guys. Yeah.
I thought it ran past me and Ire.
No, because it
To
was
get
here
there.
and it went down and over. Yeah. So it's Pico
Okay.
taking that.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't attack.
But Pico did hit, and did 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
5?
Well, it's not a magical attack this time, so
Oh.
resistance to the weapon.
And then it is attempting to drain the life from Galen. It specifically targeted
Whoa.
Galen for some reason, and even if it had to get damaged in the process. And
That's uncalled for.
with a 19, that hits. So
Yeah.
Galen, you take 11 points of necrotic damage as your life force is drained, and you have to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
Huh. Okay, let's do the
Uh,
Constitution first.
While C's rolling Constitution, you want to go ahead and throw his hit point bar up there?
Sure. All right. You made
You said it was 11 points of damage?
Yeah. So you made your Constitution save. Had you failed, your maximum hit points would have also gone down by 11 and stayed that way until your next long rest.
Neat.
And Galen, it's now your turn. Your life has been drained, and the Dark Spirit just summoned this this spirit here. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, this isn't great. Let's see if they're resistant to lightning. A
Okay.
shocking grasp animal spirit 2, which is right next to me.
You do it, and they are resistant, and you miss. I guess
that's a
you
miss.
wouldn't know that, but yeah, they are resistant.
Okay. Well,
Is that
I
the end
guess
of your
I'm
turn?
just gonna stay here. Yeah.
All right, Devok, you can see Galen is being attacked, and the Dark Spirit has summoned another spirit. What are you gonna do?
I'll shoot the dark spirit from here.
Okay.
Good idea.
Very good idea.
That hits.
Cool.
And yeah, you do what looks
16.
like yes. Why am I? Yeah, 16.
16, yeah.
So the health bar's there, so it definitely hurt it. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right, Ragu, what are you gonna do?
All right, hold on. Here I come. Okay. Claw or Char? Here we are. Why did I say claw? Because I'm trying to read. Sorry. Char is going to go ahead and fly over here, giving me advantage for my first hit on the Dark Spirit guy, and then flapping away.
So
Ragu is going to move. Oh, what?
So first, are you attacking with a ranged attack?
No,
Okay.
don't worry. You'll get it. Ragu is going to move. And at this point, I do believe the animal spirit's going to get an attack of opportunity on me.
Right. Okay. I will take it. 17.
My armor is exactly 17, but I can use a reaction to arcane deflection.
Okay, you do so.
My armor class is a 19.
Fair enough.
Very temporarily. All right, so 3, 4 attack.
All right.
Okay, I have advantage. I have my iridescent rapier.
Yep. Yeah, go for it. What are you
Yeah,
attacking
I'm
with?
going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to iridescent rapier with a
That
28. I'm going to be adding to this. So I'm going to roll this damage to 16.
Okay.
And then checking. I am going to attempt to drive the target back to the attack's damage roll. Okay, yes. I do it to add this 1d8 to damage, which
Okay.
is 6.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to need him to make a DC 15 strength check.
Saving throw or check?
Saving throw, sorry.
Okay. That makes sense. What's the DC again?
15.
Okay. He did not make it, so what happens?
All right. He takes 16 plus 6, 22 points of damage. Gets knocked 1, 2, gets knocked to right here. And my bonus attack is just chucking. And that'll be it. Let me pull this out.
So it's a knockback attack if he fails the strength?
Yes, it is the knockback 15 feet if he fails his DC
Okay.
strength check and the damage.
Fair enough.
And then my bonus action is going to be a ranged weapon.
Okay.
I don't know if this is in here right, so let's find out. I'm just throwing it.
What ranged weapon is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, that does hit. So go ahead and roll damage. Oh, it's a DC. Sorry, it's a dex save. You're right. Never mind.
For half damage.
Yeah. So let me
On a
go
failed
ahead.
save, the target is knocked back 10 feet and knocked
Yeah,
prone.
go ahead and do your damage, and that way I'll just put it in here so he can take half if it needs be. DC 15.
So that would
So
be
is that 13? That's
13.
fire damage. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Correct. But it's either going to be half that or not. Dark Spirit does not make it.
Yeah, you took the full
So,
damage.
and he's knocked back another 10 feet and prone. How damaged
these
is
are
he?
spirits, so they are immune to prone and stuff like that, but he is knocked back.
Okay. That was about the most damage I could come up in. Well, no, it's not.
It is not dead.
Action surge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy fuck, I can do it. Action surge.
Okay.
Full sprint. Swing away. I do not have advantage this time,
Nope.
so I click that off.
Here's Raku going all out as a fighter.
Absolutely all out. This thing is summoning more of those damn dogs, and we can't afford Ire to get hit with any more, and he's too dumb to run away, so we're going to have to stop this thing. I wasn't trying to be mean, Ire. I'm sorry. That didn't come out right. You're too tough to run away.
All right,
sorry.
Raku, go ahead and do your attack. Okay, you hit.
I really, that came out wrong. I really didn't mean to do that. Say that.
So you do another 13 points of damage, and it's still alive.
Wait. And I'm going to D8 again.
And you finish it off.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't even have to do its DC 15 check.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have knocked it back further, but it doesn't matter because it's gone. All right.
Yeah.
Is that the end of your turn?
That's all of my movement and all of my turns and 2 superiority dice. Yes.
Okay.
We're down.
And how many action surges do you get? I forget.
I get 1 action surge per short rest, so this is it for today.
Okay. Well, good use. All right, Ire, the Dark Spirit has been vanquished thanks to Raku using everything he had. So what are you going to do?
I guess I'll wail on this animal spirit some more.
Okay. And you hit. So it's like 21 damage total. Sizable amount, but not enough to take it out. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're at the beginning of round 4. Pico, the Dark Spirit is dead. Animal Spirit 1 is almost vanquished. What are you going to do?
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and loop around, and I'm going to ask this animal spirit if he feels thunderstruck. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and cast Booming Blade.
As it looks at you quizzically. And then gets hurt. And so that is what? 3 damage from the claws. Oh no, it's Thunderblade. So it's full damage. Never mind. So yep. Is that and then you finish it off. Yep. So it wails as it fades away. Is that the end of your turn?
Well, actually, no. I'm going to. Let's see. How many did I move there? I'll take 2 to go towards Ragu.
Okay. Animal Spirit 2 is going to continue to attack Galen.
Oh, there's another animal
that one there.
spirit. Yeah, I
got
can't.
that one.
All I
Stop
can see
him.
right now is Pico, so I've got to catch up, you guys.
Sorry, what, Pico?
No, just go with the turn. Everybody's got it.
All right. All right. So with a 20, the animal spirit once again drains your life, Galen. You take 6 points of damage, and you have to make another DC 10 Constitution save.
Okay.
And
No.
you get you
Hold on,
you
hold on.
oh.
No. I'm gonna stop it. I need to do favored by the gods. I'm not gonna roll it because I
Yeah,
physically
you
can't
get a
get
10.
one.
All right, fair enough. You use favored by the gods, and the gods save you from losing your maximum hit points.
Oh, thank God. All right, and it's
And
now
then it is
6.
your turn. This thing almost drained from your maximum life force. What are you going to do?
I will. I guess I just have to shoot at it with everything I've got. Well, yeah, I'll just hit it with some lightning. Shock and grasp again.
Okay, it is resistant, but you do hit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Nah.
you do 4 points of damage. And it is still fairly healthy, but less than half health.
Yeah, I'll just leave that as my turn.
Fair enough. All right, Devok, it looks like you can only see one spirit still active. So what are you going to do?
I shoot it.
Okay.
And I don't see any others in my view.
All right, one of those hits.
1 damage.
And
No.
it feels it slightly. Is that the end of your turn? All right, Ragu. I'm not sure if you can see it from where you are, but there is one spirit remaining near Galen. What are you going to do?
I cannot actually see it from where I am.
But
So
you
I'm
can
gonna
see
go ahead
Galen
and-
fighting.
I can see Pico. Everything else is dark.
If you
All right,
run
hold on.
right past me, you'll be going the right direction.
I was gonna say I could come here. That's my 6 movement.
Now keep in mind, Ire and myself still have a shot at it, so.
Char's gonna fly down here and give the next person advantage on whatever attack they choose. And then he's gonna fly up this way out of the way.
Okay.
And Ragu is going to go ahead and just blast because that's all he can do.
And you hit. And as it turns out, it is immune to necrotic damage.
Ah, no damage.
Yep.
All right, that's what I got.
Fair enough. Ire, you saw Ragu shoot a spell at the animal spirit, and it had no effect. What are you going to do?
Come around and hit the spirit.
Okay,
You
have
roll with
'cause of
advantage.
Char.
Uh-huh. Well,
Okay. So
That
11
one,
points, and it is still alive. And you hit it again and finish it off. And so I will take you out of combat.
Ugh.
And the atmosphere around you is a little lighter than it was once you entered, but the draining force and the overall grayness of the place that seems to be draining your will to live remains. So I'll take you back to the map.
I guess we're going to have to do something about Ire.
Yeah, we got to do something about Ire and here, Galen. I got something
I'll
for you to
start
drink.
working on them.
Oh, actually, I take that back. I'm going to put you back there for now because I realize this was your, you can travel a little bit further, but you'll still be in the same hex. So we'll just use this.
We got 2 hexes per day on this?
You did, but didn't you already move in the other place? Or
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this wasn't our first movement of the day.
yeah.
Never
Okay,
mind.
that's right. Anyway, so we'll use this as your camping spot. What do you guys do before you go to sleep?
All right, well, I cast teleport.
That's it.
question: How much have I healed from the
Soul recharge.
Yeah.
So you guys probably would have traveled Unfortunately, because you're going through the thick fog, the cloak hasn't been doing anything.
What about the daylight before we entered the fog? Because did
It's,
we take a
yeah,
count of that?
that probably wasn't very long, so probably only about an hour. 'Cause
Okay.
yeah, you
All right,
guys,
one hit point.
you guys pretty much went right in after
Yeah.
after he attuned. Because remember,
Then
you
yeah,
guys moved, and then he attuned after you guys had already moved, and then you moved into the forest.
uh, I'm gonna ask the ship if he's done recharging it or not. The repair bots.
Oh, I, for some reason, I lost consciousness temporarily. It was
Oh,
a strange feeling. Do you ever lose consciousness?
no.
No, of course not. Although if you did, never mind. Anyway, um, perhaps I can help you when you rest tonight. I might be able to energize your healing system. Um,
Yeah, try that.
so you see Ire go still for about a minute, and then Ire, you suddenly notice that everybody has just moved again,
Uh-oh.
instantly. And then and the end result is that when you take a short rest, you have an extra hit die available to you.
Oh, neat. So even if I have 0, every time I short rest, I can use a hit die?
Right, but it
Alright.
basically it just works on the short rest.
Right. Oh, I'll pop it right now.
And then he says, wow, what is this place? I thought we were going to the city, or at least, and we have to find the crashed ships. Do we not?
We're going in the direction of the city.
But this is not right. This is not what it's supposed to look like. It's gray. It's the trees are
Well,
made of
see,
stone. This makes no sense. This can't
you
be
see,
right.
many years have passed. It's been a long time.
No,
Something
it
about the
this
world
makes no
ending.
sense. It can't be like this. It
The
can't be
world
like
Can you
this.
ended.
tell him that we come from a different world and that we
Oh yeah, I should probably tell him that. Yeah, we don't actually come from this. Well,
Well, actually, you do.
I do come from this world, but the rest of my party isn't from this world. So
And what difference does that make? It's still not supposed to be like this.
you see, I think your world like ended. I think it's over.
No, I'm here. And you're here. We are compatible.
but
So
we have no
I think
we have no memory.
civilization ended, and I have no memory. I lost my memory.
no,
Something happened.
we simply have to report this anomaly to the city. I'm sure it
Yes,
can be fixed.
once we get there, we'll report it.
Okay.
Just keep a mental note. Remind me when we get there.
Yes, we must report these things immediately.
Hmm.
And then at this point, Ire looks around with stilted movements toward the rest of you. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying calm despite that this isn't right, and not panicking. That it would be bad if you panicked, because then I would have to calm you down.
Uh-huh.
Of course you would.
And then Ire regains control.
Doing all right.
All right. So is there anything else you do before you take your short rest?
So, Galen, are you going to get drunk on healing potions, practice your bandaging skills?
I was
just
thinking
hope
I
you're-
could I was thinking I could just start by like using my own healing equipment on myself, but yeah, I might drink some potions or something. We'll see. I don't know how to heal Ire, but I'll use my own equipment first. Do you guys have healing potions? I don't think I have any of mine.
All right, who's
I was
almost
gonna
out?
say, yeah, I'm carrying 11, but I was gonna ask if you wanted to med pack yourself first,
Yeah.
because the med packs are cheaper and you got even
hell
more value.
yeah. 10 plus, what's my hit die? 5, so 15 hit pointy. So I'm actually fine.
Okay. And we
I
really have
wanna-
nothing to help Ire except spell slots. Will mending and tinkering tools anything? Maybe I could start making like patchwork welding on his leg, something. I don't know. There's nothing we can do to really help him except for just healing slots or spell slots.
Nothing that you know of. The only thing, the the only thing that comes to mind is that you did find some strange ore that seem, to react a little bit around machinery, but I. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think you've done any research on that, and they might be doing research on that in the Nexus, but obviously it doesn't help you right now.
I was going to say, can I go ahead and start studying that? Because I know we're all carrying one. They all heal. They all healed Kevin.
No,
Maybe I
no,
can
not
start.
those. I'm talking about that the purplish ore that you'd found earlier on.
Oh, the Lumior.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I do know that my contact said that it was for Ire. Can I make a roll, or is that just not enough?
It's not enough on its own, but it's certainly something you could follow up on when you have the resources.
Okay. All right.
And you could also inquire if the Nexus has been following up on it, because they might be on their own.
Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, you did give them some of that, so they should be able to study it.
Yeah, I brought back a bunch of those, and
Yeah.
I gave, one to them, one to my contact, and I kept the rest.
Okay. So there's most likely research already ongoing, but again, you don't have the fruits of that yet.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys are doing before your long rest? I mean, your short rest?
I'm going to switch out Flame Blade for Moonbeam, I think.
Okay.
And other than that, I don't think there's anything else I can particularly do here.
Okay, fair enough. So you all attempt to sleep in this place, but you can feel it draining even as you try. So I need everybody to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
10 again?
Yeah, DC 10.
Okay.
So, Galen, you have gained 1 level of exhaustion. Devak, you have gained 1 level of exhaustion.
Haha.
However,
Hold
you do
on.
not have to take that. If you want to spend a fate point, you can reroll.
I mean, it's not really worth the fate point, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, it looks like everybody else succeeded. So Galen and Devak, you both have 1 level of exhaustion. You can actually put that on the front of your character sheet so you can track it easier.
Yeah.
And it tells you on the character sheet what the effects are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And is Ire using hit dice or anything?
I've already.
You
I
what?
have I have none left.
Really? You've used other ones already?
Yeah, we got thrashed in the last fight. Remember, I did anyway.
Yeah, I'm even down to only 2 out of my 5 hit dice, and I do my best not to use them if I don't have to. So yeah, that's why I was wondering about a
Yeah.
long rest anytime
I
before we
could
get
burn.
we're burned.
Yeah, I have 1 spell slot left. I could burn on a heal, but I was hoping to save it for now.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to save it. I don't know how many spell slots you got, but I don't have any that can help.
All right. This seems like a.
Actually, real quick, Ire, as you wake up, you you notice that once you wake up, that you're exactly 5 feet away from where you deactivated. You're not sure why.
Oh no.
And the other thing is that you hear a chipper voice. Hello there. Well, I've been looking at your inefficient subsystems, and
Hmm.
I have been able to give you a little bit more charge. I don't know how often I can do this because it drains your internal systems a bit. So we'll have to figure out what to do about that in the future. But it should be fine. Fine. Um, you gain 2d6 additional hit points. See, told you it'll be fine. It may lower your overall system life, but that's not a problem.
Whatever.
And then for a moment, you see Ire just spin around to the rest of you. Hi, everyone. We're going to seek out the ships, right? We're going to do that today, right? And
Yeah,
then
we're getting.
Ire has control again.
Yeah, we're getting to the city. Once we get there, we can figure out the ships and everything. Don't worry. We'll
So
get it
Ire,
organized.
How far are you down?
22.
A heck of a lot better than only 4 left.
Although
20.
what he's not telling you is that being down 22, he has more hit points than Pico does at max.
Yeah.
True.
All right.
Really?
Well,
Yeah. He's got one less hit point at maximum than you do, Ragu.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought Pico had more hit points than that. Then okay.
I do, but only with trickery, and they're temporary.
Ah, okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do you a favor here, Ire. I'm gonna go ahead and do a druid's equivalent of lay on hands here, and I'm gonna upcast Cure Wounds to 3rd level. So let's see, and that's my spellcasting ability modifier. So I guess that's gonna be a +3 to this. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll 3d8 for this. Wait a minute. Actually, no. I could probably cast Cure. Let me try the clicky thing. What level? Yes, 3. Holy crap! Wait. No, that's.
That's 14 plus 9, so that's 23.
Oh, okay. That's what I missed. Okay. I was looking. I was ignoring that like the skill roll and looking at 9. I'm like 9. That's stupid. That tops you off then, right?
9. Oh, 20. Oh, yeah. Sure it is.
Hey,
And I think that was only one, basically one overage point, right? So
Yep.
it's a pretty efficient use of it. Okay. I feel much better about that. Yeah, I guess it does help. I rolled. Oh, I see. They sure do that weird. So I guess the bottom number is essentially the base roll, and then the upper one is all the extra levels that they
Yeah,
add
you
to
rolled
it.
pretty good overall. So a 6 and an 8 and a 6 so with the 8s. So I mean that's pretty good, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is now the 11th. It is it's cloudy, and unfortunately, being in fog and being even more overcast than it was yesterday, it is a very dark and gloomy environment. So I'm going to go ahead and take you to the map.
Okay.
You can. Oh, let me move over here and make sure we're here. All right, so you can now move 2, but before you move, your indicator is indicating that the.
Hold on a sec. I'm not in a position where I can see that.
Okay, let me know when.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Your indicator is indicating that the crater is in this direction.
Okay, yep, that's still in line with what I was planning on doing. In fact, actually, golly.
might be about 2 days away.
In fact, let me go ahead and modify that that line here just so I can. That sucks. Whatever. Good enough.
All right.
Just that way Get rid of the old one.
Okay, so go ahead and move 1 hex. And
Flank.
we'll move the second one afterward. But as you move forward 1 hex, you notice something. So we'll see what you notice in a moment. So as you are traveling, you notice to the north a bit is a large hole in the ground. And from what you can see from this distance, the hole is filled with with cloudy smoke, and it's barely noticeable. But you see there's some sort of something down there flickering, and as you see all this, ire bursting in your head is a voice. He's down there. He's down there. We have to go down there. We have to go down there right now. He's down there. One of the
Oh,
ships is down
shit.
there. Let's go.
No. Alright.
What do you do?
Oh, guys, there's a ship down there. Can I
Well,
harbor multiple of you guys in my head at once?
It'll be fine. No problem.
Alright, cool.
Well, let me have a peek
Ask
first.
if they're compatible with other life forms. Maybe we
Oh,
can
yeah.
grab one
Are
of them
you
too, so you're not
compatible
crowded.
with these fleshies or just myself?
No. No. Of course not. Anyway, real quick. Sorry. See this edge here? That's the actual edge. This is kind of like the side, but it's kind of like it looks diagonal. But in order to show something, I'd have to kind of have to paint it that way. So you can imagine that it goes down, and you can't see the floor very well because it's covered by this mist. But you would estimate that it's 100 to 200 feet down. And you see this flickering green light down there.
That's the one.
So what do you do?
How are we gonna get
How
down
far? How far down is it?
You would estimate between 100 to 200 feet.
It's not so bad.
there?
We're not having enough rope. We've got to be tying this together.
I have a bunch of rope.
I should saw 50 feet worth.
Yeah, I have 50
I've got
feet.
50 feet. That's 150 feet.
Anyone else have 50 feet of rope?
Check.
Uh,
I have no rope.
I wanted to see if 150 will get me down there.
I also have no rope.
Actually,
Hold on,
technically,
Ire.
technically
go
we have
for a ride?
another.
What? On what?
On me.
As what?
You're not afraid of spiders, are you?
Technically, we do have
no.
another 50 feet of rope, but we have to find out whether or not we're allowed to use it.
Well, spider form might be more efficient anyway, or like easier anyway, and less risky. So we can try that.
Okay.
See if you guys can find some neat things down there while you're down.
Yeah.
All right, so Pico,
Hopefully there's no spider creatures.
you're turning into a giant spider.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And what's the strength of a giant spider?
14.
And how much do you weigh?
315.
Keep in mind, it's a large beast, so its carrying capacity is higher than its
Double.
strength would normally indicate.
Yeah,
I
the
think
formula's
it's-
double.
Okay. All right. That sounds like it probably work if just barely, so no more than one person at a time.
I
all right.
figure me and Pico need to go down there because it shouldn't be too much to explore. Just get the robot guy and his power
out.
core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to start climbing down, and are you? How are you climbing down exactly?
You web yourself down.
I mean, I should be able to. I mean, I've got spider climb. I can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, that needing ability checks. But I can go ahead and I'll spin webs anyway, just in case.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it takes you a while, but you are able to climb down. And so let me go ahead and get you two down here. Currently you are still a spider, unless you say differently. And then you see a ship, and you can see that it's similarly damaged, but in this case, you can see the flickering light is coming from the back end. And as you move around, you can sense a dark presence down here.
Uh-oh. Where?
And as you do so, you see several spirits
Oh, boy.
rise from the ground. All right, I will need you guys to roll initiative. Unfortunately, everybody who is
Yeah.
above,
Ignore my roll.
you are 200 feet away, so you're out of range of pretty much anything. And even if you weren't, you would have disadvantage on everything because of distance.
Okay.
But
I guess ignore our rolls.
you guys can still try to do something if you can think of anything.
Okay.
All right, Devok, is there anything you want to try to do, or are you just going to stay?
Are we going to go down there and help? We can
I
do
don't
that.
think that how we're gonna get out.
Yes, we can, my friends.
I think we'll be fine. I think you can stay up there.
Okay.
All right. then
You're
I'll
going
just
to stay up there. Okay.
All right, Ire, you're still not lighting up, which I'll have to look at. But regardless, you can see the three spirits seem to have risen from the ground. What are you going to do?
Oh. Yeah, I'll just come over and in front of this guy. Hit this dog a couple times.
All right. That first one is a hit. So yeah, you successfully damage it, nearly bloodying it, but not quite. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I'm not seeing health bars either for these guys.
Sorry, I had to fix these guys.
Oh my god, he's huge.
Pico.
Yeah, we'd have to fix the vision thing, but since it's just in this little thing, I'm not going to worry about it.
All right.
All right, you guys should see the health bars now. Ire, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Spider Pico, what are you going to do?
All right. Jeez. Not sure there's much I can do other than. Oh, wait a minute.
You can web one of them.
Well, I can't really. Well, oh wait, yeah, it's a.
Yeah, you can.
Still hit them.
Yeah, they can phase through things though, so they're immune to restrained and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Range attack, range 30. But yeah, they can phase through stuff, and that doesn't do any good. The only thing I could realistically do
Oh,
would
just
be
bite.
a bite.
I doubt the poison will affect them, but maybe.
Does it count as a magical weapon or something? Some creatures are like that.
No,
Pretty
it's
sure
just
it
weapon attack and then poison damage, which is probably not going to do.
Yeah, they are immune to poison, but they are immune to poison damage, but they aren't immune to the actual bite itself. So it's usually a bite
Right.
and then a plus so much
Yeah,
of
it
poison
is,
they'd be
right.
immune to that poison part, and then the bite
Yeah.
would affect them, but probably at half damage if it's not magical.
You could argue
Alrighty.
that he's a magical creature, maybe, but
No.
No, the druids have an ability that comes up, I think, next level that makes my wild shape attacks magical, but I'm not there yet. All right, for some stupid reason, this character sheet doesn't actually have the attack on it, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this from the other sheet. So, melee attack +5. Melee attacks, those normally work off of strength, right?
Right.
Okay, so,
So it's whatever its strength bonus is plus its proficiency if he has any, but I don't think these guys have that.
There's a +5 to hit on it, so
okay.
it's.
So yeah, it's just if it says +5 to hit, that's all it is, and the strength bonus goes to your damage,
Okay, so that ends up working out to be a 14.
which hits.
Okay, and then D8 +3 piercing, but that's well, I guess I have to roll the whole thing so you can have it.
So that's 5,
Five.
so that's 2. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I really hope those things are more interested in Ire than they are me.
I will say that you are far more effective against these things as Pico than as Spider Pico.
True.
All right, Ragu, are you going to do anything from there, or are you waiting?
Yes, I'm going to do so. I actually looked because Devok already said that he's not going. Aren't you? Did you? Hello?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I look at Devok and then I look at Galen and, well, if you two are not going to be going down there, then at least get the rope ready for the rest of us. And I turn and jump.
Mm,
Okay.
Jump.
That is 200 feet.
Halfway down, I cast Featherfall.
Okay. Fair enough. I was just going to calculate how many d6s to
It
roll
was a
before
good
your death.
cinematic moment. Honest, it was a good cinematic moment. I turned to Devok and Galen and go, "You're not coming? Well, we're going." And I just jump into the hole and piff into the darkness.
Yeah, you fall, you pass through the mist, and falling to your death, and suddenly you slow down and glide gracefully. All right, so you hit the ground. How long will it take you to hit with Featherfall?
Just a second.
It changes your speed to 60 feet per round, so technically if you did it halfway, that means you would land on the 2 rounds later.
Okay.
Well, can I do it? Can I time it a little better than that then?
Well, what I'll do is go ahead and make a Dex check, and or acrobatics check, and if you get at least a 10, then we'll say you time it so that you can go next round.
All right, because it is a reaction casting spell. So if I
Yeah, but you might flinch and do it early because you don't want to splat. So that's what the acrobatics check's for. See how good your timing is.
Acrobatics.
Especially if you're fuzzy about where the bottom is.
Yeah. Well, I can see the light and can hear you guys and everything. Well, yeah, you're right. I might be still fuzzy about the bottom. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah, and if the bottom's a big pool of glowing nuclear acid.
Oh no.
So all that happens is that you won't be able to act next round. It'll be the following round. You don't die or anything.
All right. I just cast it
You
too
do it
soon
early,
and
basically.
Yes, for the 3 seconds after hitting the floor.
You flinch.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't want to die. Okay.
Yeah, I
would be
cast it
so
too
funny
soon,
if
so
you
I'm
just,
just
like,
floating from up
splatted.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not gonna splat.
Nope.
It would be
Not this time.
legendary.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Animal Spirit 1 loops around and attacks Ire with advantage. And
Nope.
18, so that's not quite enough. Although it would normally be a good hit. 1, 2, 3, and another one also attacking you with advantage. With a 22, which does hit.
Does it? Yeah.
So you take 9 damage, and you have to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. Which you make, so you do not lose it from your maximum. And then Animal Spirit 2 also attacks you with advantage, because the spider did very little. And it fails to hit.
Rest in peace, spider mode.
Alright, round 2. So, Ragu will not be acting this round, but that's okay. He's still floating downward. Devok, are you doing anything?
I don't think I can.
Okay. Ire, you are now surrounded. What are you going to do?
All right. Animal Spirit 2 is getting got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him got.
Yeah,
Get him got.
That's
First
awkward.
one misses. And second one hits.
Oh wait, actually, do I have flanking on him? Because the spider.
No, the fighter would have to be on this side.
Oh shit! All right.
But you did do 8 points of damage, so that was decent. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right, Spider Pico, what are you gonna do?
I guess I'll move over here to get the flanking for whatever it's worth.
Yep.
All right, roll the first attempt there. Okay, roll the second attempt. Wow. Never mind. Well, I'll stay there to at least keep Ire set up with advantage.
Okay. Ragu continues to fall. Animal Spirit 1 attacks Ire with advantage,
Oh boy, here we go.
but fails to do anything but hurt him. Animal Spirit, or Sinister Spirit 1 then attacks you with advantage.
Please.
And successfully does 11 points of damage. Unfortunately, it does not come from your maximum. And finally, Animal Spirit 2, completely ignoring the spider, attacks you again as well with advantage. With an 11, it fails to do anything more than hurt you.
All
At the
right.
beginning of round 3, Devok, you're still doing nothing, right? So, Ire. Okay.
Yeah.
Ire, the
Right.
one
Get.
between you and the spider is low on health, and you have advantage, but you are surrounded. Go ahead.
I'll take him out. Right. I'm gonna yell to him to try and land here. Get behind the Sinister Spirit. And then I'll attack Animal Spirit 2.
Okay.
With advantage.
Yep. And that's against Animal Spirit 2.
Yep.
And you finish it off.
All right, and I'll take a hit at Sinister Spirit.
Okay. And it hits as well for a solid 9 points of damage. All right, Spider Pico, one of the spirits has been vanquished. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go ahead and move here to ideally set Ire up with a bit of a flank and try my mediocre attacks again.
Okay. Their AC is that
Holy
one's
crap.
12, but
Wow.
that's not enough.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Is the 7 enough?
the 7 would bring it up to a 12.
Yeah, so the 7 hits.
Oh, okay. That's not as well. I'm forgetting the amount of bonus that's there. And there's
The
a
animal
D8
spirits had the 13. The sinister spirit has the 12, so it's slightly lower AC.
Okay, so 7 or 10 points total. So I guess 5
Okay.
gets through.
Fair enough. That is something. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Actually, would I be able to push Ire 1 hex?
Push Ire 1 hex?
Yeah.
I think that would take an action.
Okay, never mind then.
But yeah, there is the shove action, but it is an action, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that the end of your turn then?
Yep, that'll do.
All right, Ragu, it's your time. Place yourself on the map.
All right, can I just fall wherever I want?
Yeah, wherever you want.
All right. Out of the fog and blackness above you, Char comes sweeping down this way. Whoo! Whoo! And gets over here.
Whatever epicness was involved in that is now suddenly evaporated.
Yeah. Ragu lands right here with a hard thump and swings away.
No, wait, go here. I need you to. Okay. Oh no.
This guy's
Well, you have
already
advantage.
flanked and mostly
He
dead.
gets another action though. He's the only one that can hit me.
Oh, well, we'll fix that real soon.
He's
Wait,
Seriously?
He's gonna get another action against me. It's gonna whatever. That's why I
Listen.
specifically told you to land on the spirit. But
Wait.
I made a point of it.
No, because I didn't hear part of that. What's up with this one?
If you
He
kill
can-
it, then there's only one that attacks. If you
And
don't
it has-
kill it, then
Yeah, but and besides that, this one has a much higher roll than the spirits. The animals have not been able to hit me at all yet. He's the only one that consistently hits me.
All right, then I'll land here and swing away at that guy.
Yep, you still have advantage though. Okay, you hit.
Oh, that was an advantage, but that works. Shall I roll again just for
Yeah, if you want.
Just-
Yeah.
just for possible double damage? Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 iridescent rapier,
And you take it out.
9 points of damage, and I turn to the animal spirit, who I have advantage on because of char,
Okay.
and I'm gonna swing away. I actually have one of those. I'm gonna use it.
And that misses.
That completely misses.
It
Darn.
does. All right, is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Animal Spirit 1, still untouched, goes after Ire with an 11 and fails to hit. All right, beginning of round 4. Devok's still upstairs. Ire, you're down to 1 spirit. What are you going to do?
Bop bop.
Those both hit.
Nice.
So 19. A good chunk of damage, but not enough to finish it off. It's at roughly half health. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right, Pico, down to the last spirit. What are you going to do?
All right, I'll go ahead and move over here to set up flanking. Well, I guess I'll technically just move here.
Okay.
And go ahead and do my mediocre rolls. Well, at least that hits.
Yep.
Actually, let me roll again in case
So their AC is 13.
At 20.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll take that.
So whatever damage die you have, you roll twice as many, but the bonuses and all that stay exactly the same.
All right, so 2d8 plus 3. 10, 5 whopping points.
Okay, that's not enough, but it's still a chunk.
All right, Regu, you can fart on it now to kill it.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Ragu, now you're up.
Swing away.
Go for it. And you hit.
15.
And you finish it off. So we'll go ahead and take you out of combat now.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
just got you those hit points. They're not gonna let them be taken so fast.
All right. Let's see where this light is.
So you can see a bit of stone. It looks like maybe it was wood at one point. That is surrounding the cylinder. You recognize the cylinder, and once it surrounded it, it hardened into stone. So what are you going to do?
Oh God. Hey, shipman, what do I do?
Oh well, clearly you have to extract them from the stone.
It's a good thing that I'm an expert miner.
Oh, good. I am glad to hear that.
Is there anything I can do to help with my artificing and technology stuff and tinkering?
I need a pickaxe.
I have one of those.
You have one. Perfect.
Yeah, you can definitely. You can either make an athletics check or a miner check.
I have
if
a
you
mining.
Skill.
I do have mining.
Okay, then you can use your mining skill. And with your mining skill and the pickaxe, you know where to hit the stone so that it'll break apart without ever hitting close enough to the cylinder that you might break it. And so you break the stone away, and you see another one of those control cylinders with the light blinking.
Oh boy.
And as soon as you get close, part of the top moves away, and a handle pops to the surface. What do you?
All right. Am I able to mentally brace myself for this? Since I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that would give you better rolls.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna take a minute, prepare myself, and flip the switch.
Okay, you hit the switch, and then suddenly in your head you say, "Well, hi. I'm glad we found you." And then you hear another voice. Who are you again? It's like,
Oh god.
we're supposed to deliver the important cargo. We're supposed to report the. Were you shot down like I was? I might have been shot down. Good. Now we can go and report it. We need to find the other ship. Would you stop talking so much? What? I've just found you. We need to go. Would you stop talking? And then suddenly it gets silent.
Okay, hold on. Gotta set some ground rules. All right. This is the talkative guy. That's ship number 1. So these guys apparently don't have names. So you're ship 1. This new guy, you're ship 2. And ship 2. What do you know? What's going on? How long have you been here?
I guess you are my new mind, huh? And my new body.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And
Well,
suddenly you see
no.
Ire start jerkily moving around, and you just see him just like walking up to the north.
No.
And then you see him start pacing back and forth, and it's like, this body is very inefficient. Why am I stuck here? And who are you people?
I don't believe that is your body. You are the
Of
intelligence
course,
in
it's
the
my
crash.
body. I have been downloaded into it. It is my
All
body.
right. I'm attempting to
It's a
take over.
temporary thing, my friend. You've got
Go
to give
ahead.
Ire back to Ire.
Go ahead and make your intelligence check, Ire.
Intelligence. Oh boy.
Can he get a bonus on it since I'm trying to tell the guy to actively give his body back to Ire?
He's ignoring you, so no.
Oh.
But Ire did brace himself, so he gets advantage.
Oh
Red Skunker.
well, it's a
So
14.
Ire stops for a second, and then he starts pacing, and it's like, that was weird. When I download into a shell, it's not supposed to talk back. This thing is broken.
Hey! Let me in. This is mine.
And it's annoying. It keeps talking. And this other one keeps talking. It keeps telling me, and he's saying this out loud so everybody can hear it. He keeps telling me that we have to find the other ship. I know that already. And we have to report. Yes, I know we have to report. But what good does it do to say it over and over and over again? So what are you guys going to do about this? You need to fix this shell, and you need to... Wait. And then he starts looking around.
Oh, sorry.
You know what the great part is about being a giant spider right now? I have so many eyes I can roll at this.
That's pretty much it.
And then for a he stops talking all of a sudden, and then starts looking around, and then he kind of you see Ire just sit in the sand, and Ire, you have control again. The voice has gone silent.
Hey, ship 2, buddy. What happened? Hello?
Where are we?
Well, for starters, this second ground rule. This is my shell, not yours. So you can't take it. And we're in some stone forest. I don't know. Anyway, where's
there was
your
this lush forest here? Where did it go?
Yeah, well, the world ended. The world ended. It's gone. Where's your power supply?
Here, and you see it in your vision.
Okay, what's your battery at right now?
It is at 13.2%.
All right, we'll get you changed. All right, I'm gonna try and climb in through the windshield and.
So yeah, you were able to repeat the process. Ragu, are you helping him move boxes and all that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and help him see what's in there.
So yeah, with both of you, it takes you probably about an hour. This one seems to be in even worse shape than the other one. And there's unfortunately it seems to be less that's salvageable. However, you are able to recover the power source. It seems to be extra shielded for some reason. And during the process, you are able to gather a small cache of weapons that seems to somehow escape damage. So that would be 5 of the fire cylinders and 2 of the lightning cylinders. But unfortunately, the rest of it is scrapped.
All right. And then anything in these boxes over here, or?
it's clear just by looking at it that it's scrap. You can see they're open, and they if they had any contents, they'd be spilled on the ground.
All right. All right.
There is a chance that something survived and was taken, but it's a pretty low chance.
Right. Okay, ship 2. Anything you want us to do before we leave? I'm getting out of here.
I want you to
I think you're broken.
To
this
what?
isn't real, right? This
is real.
What is what do the flesh people call it? A dream.
Dream. It's
Yes.
a dream. Yeah. Nope.
Must be a dream.
It's not a dream because you're not a flesh person. So.
I will just stay here for a while and think.
Why don't you get with ship 1 and work on making my structure more efficient, my subsystems more efficient? How about that? Give me something to think about.
Maybe.
Anyways, I'm getting back on my spider mount. I'm getting out of here.
Okay. So, Pico, does that mean you're taking Ire away?
Yeah, before I do that, I'm going to weave a little message for Ragu and says, I'll be back.
Gotcha.
And I'll go ahead and haul Ire up out of the pit. As soon as I get him to the top, I'm going back down to retrieve Ragu.
Okay.
As he's doing that, I've got a few minutes to kill. I'm going to go through the ship myself, see if there's anything else, in these piles out here or anything.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, and we'll see if you find anything else.
So now I have not 1 but 2 leeches.
Yeah. Can Char go ahead and help me? No. Yeah.
He can't really help
He's
you
got
dig through stuff. I mean, he can see stuff.
He has
Yeah,
perception
I guess
with
so.
night vision.
Go ahead and give yourself advantage.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you search, and you're pretty thorough. You find 3 of the coin-like objects that somehow survived, but you're pretty sure that there's nothing else.
Okay.
However, you did get the weapon cache, so did you write all that stuff down?
I am. That's what I was doing right now.
Okay.
Very happy.
All right.
Are the lightning cylinders equivocally the same as the fire cylinders?
They
Do I
are.
copy and
It's
paste,
just
or-
it's lightning damage instead of fire.
Okay.
Okay,
just
I'm
copy
not
and
excited about that.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and move that back to the back as you leave. Is there anything else you want to do here before you continue?
How's your new brain friend?
Horrible. There's 2 obnoxious leeches in my brain now.
And as you say that, Ire, you hear a chipper voice in your head. So we only have 1 more to go. Thank you for doing this. I'm so glad you understand that this is the most important thing that you could ever do, and that we're going to do this right now, right?
Of course. Always.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I'm here for you. Except you serve me, but...
No. You had it right the first time. Of course, you're doing this for us because we're so important. This is so important. It's going to save the world.
It might. I think the world is too far gone to be saved, but...
No. The world is no.
Look around you, man.
This is just an anomaly. We're going to go to the city and we're going to report this, and we'll fix it. Don't worry.
All right, we'll
How's
fix
the
it.
other guy? Is he like just
He's
quiet?
depressed.
Oh, okay. That's fair. His world
Yeah.
is destroyed.
Poor
All right.
Yeah,
so,
he's in shock.
It's
So I'll
like
take
an
you back to the
Eeyore or
map.
something.
You can move 1 more hex for the day. So go ahead and do that now.
Oh,
All right,
what
so
is this?
you move 1 more hex, and in the distance, in the fog, you see strange, large stone buildings. You can just see their outlines in the fog, but you can see strange towers, buildings, these weird, they look kind of like buildings with curved tops, but there seems to be multiples tightly packed together. and it just seems to go on for as long as it's like there's like way too many buildings, way too large, and it seems like the buildings to the north are more sparse. Maybe to the north it's a bit, maybe more of the outskirts of whatever that is. And the buildings to the northeast are much more dense. Um, yeah, so is there anything you're going to do before you take your short rest?
Two things. First, I'm going to reattune the Cloak of Protection instead of the Solar Recharging Cape. And then I also want to inquire ships. Have you guys gotten anywhere? My subsystems able to activate repair Jones again?
Yes. I believe if I only just shortening your life just by a little bit. I believe that I can recharge your system a little bit. So let me do that now. So suddenly, Ire becomes still, and everybody instantly moves again. It seems to be happening more and more.
No.
You gain back another D6 hit points, and like last time, you get an extra hit die when you take your short rest.
All right. Well, that was sad.
I got a question as far as the traveling. I started thinking, looking at the trees and the plants and stuff, and the state they're in, how similar does that appear to be to what we saw of what the Kylon were doing to life forms?
Sorry, so how similar are the plants to the Kylon?
No.
Yeah, you know how the Kylon would turn monsters and humanoids and stuff into stone?
Yes.
As they ate them? Is that
stone?
Stone?
This is it, yes. This looks like devastation on a massive scale, and you were told that the Kylon were able to do this to plants, and the stone and everything looks very similar to that. So you're, at this point in time, there's very little chance it could have been anything but the Kylon.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Oh, hey, Shane, another thing while we're doing this rest, do you want to let your chipper friend take over your brain just for a second? Because I want him to read. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. I want him to read. Do you remember that I got this silver metal cylinder from somewhere with Lumed runes on it? I wonder if he can read that. Or if
I can just
help.
ask him. I can just ask him. I can look at it. He can just tell me.
Yeah, I
don't
would also
give him control because I don't know if we'll get it back.
Yeah, that's fair. I also want him to help me learn the language again.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
And ask him about, like, my peepo.
Yeah, show me the rune.
I'm trying to send it in chat, but I don't think I can. There's no picture. It's just like a silver metal cylinder that we got a while ago in one of the dungeon-y things, and it has runes all over it. So
take a look.
Take it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he takes looks at it. It's like, oh yes. That's actually quite simple. If you press here, and then you see Ire's hand just moving, and you can hear the voice through Ire as well. Then the top opens up. You see the top open up, and then if there's this other special kind of cylinder you can get where it has little grooves on it. It looks they usually look green, like a crystal. Anyway, and if you put the one cylinder in the other cylinder, and then you press here, and he doesn't actually touch it this time, then it'll play music. So do you have one of those green music cylinders?
I actually have a green. I don't know if it's that specific thing, but there's something in my inventory that's just labeled as green crystal. So I can only assume that's what it is.
Well,
I think those are the round crystals.
There was, if you remember correctly, when you were at the Overgrown Quarry, the one with the crocodile equivalents and whatnot, and there was this green cylinder you guys ran in and stole from the water.
Uh-huh.
But Oreo might have that.
Uh,
Yeah, I
we
think
ask
Oreo
her
might
to
have
check her
that.
Inventory?
yeah.
But I have a clear crystal, baseball-sized orb, and I think you've got a green crystal orb as well. And
Oh,
she might
okay.
have an orb as well, but I know we found orbs. They weren't the cylinders, but we found these crystal orbs.
Gotcha. Well, we know we have the cylinder somewhere in the party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oreo
let
does
me
have it if nobody else does.
let me fix that real quick. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we can deal with that later. Um, okay, so yeah, you guys take your short rest. If you spent your hit die. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and end it here because the city is the whole thing there. But I've placed the sinkhole on the map, and I've placed the crash site on the map, so you guys could revisit those things in the future if you want. And I'll set up your experience points.
Actually, one thing before it, I do want to go ahead and have us use that artifact or whatever, the homing one, just to kind of confirm where it's.
Oh, sure. It's right here. Do you see that?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Still about the same spot. Just making sure.
Yep. Hold on. Let me find my experience tab.
Oh, well, yeah. Dave, what do you've been keeping track of experience, right?
Yes.
What do you have down for me? I just want to make sure I'm tracking properly. Because I missed a session.
Prior to this session, you should have 11,933 experience.
Oh, neat. I was low by 100. I'll take it.
Can I double check?
Yeah,
after
Joel
this
wants to know this too.
What was that?
Can I double check my number with you after we get our experience?
Okay.
Alrighty. So Oreo did not fail. Pico, I think you failed.
Oh, I failed all over the
Yeah,
place.
you failed enough.
Same.
I failed at least once. I failed. I think twice.
Yeah, Ire failed. Galen, I think you failed, or did you?
I failed twice, I believe,
Okay,
because I
and-
failed the Constitution and I missed a shot at somebody.
And Davok, did you fail?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Ragu, you failed once or twice?
I think once.
Okay. Then,
And Ire failed twice, or?
I did. Yeah, 2 attacks. I'm certain of that.
yeah, you
Okay.
failed. Why is this not showing? That is annoying. Sorry, hold on. Oh, there it goes. It's just super delayed. All right, so everybody, and I forgot to total it again. 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, you gain 700 experience points. 400 from encounters, 100 for treasure, 200 for exploration. And in addition, Pico gains 100 for learning by failure, Ragu 50, Davok 100, Galen 100, and Ire 100.